Yo, yo, yo. What is up, guys? Happy Sunday. Welcome, 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 welcome. We got a great session today, guys. I'm really excited for it. Let's get ready to rock. We have a lot to go through today. What is up? What is up, guys? I'm going to start sharing my screen as well. Let me know if we can all see today. We have a very cool session today. Let me know if we can all see. That would be good to see us all. What up? What up? Okay, what we got? Let's see. We got Scott. Good to see you, sir. What's going on, brother? We got Chris in the house. Good to see you, Chris. We got Demetra as well. We also got my man Lee. Lee, good to see you, sir. Good to see you. As always, absolutely love the movement. Good to see you. We also got Fletcher in the house as well. Good to see you, Fletch. We got my man Jared. Good to see you, Jared. We got Jordan as well. Good to see you, Jordan. Very good. Kirill, we got you as well. Very good. Always good to have you, Kirill. We got Marina. Good to see you, Marina. Very nice. We got Melania as well. Good to see you, Melania. Very cool. We got Mohammed and Ibrahim. Good to see you, sir. Paolo, good to see you. My Italian brother, good to see you. We got Patrick in the house. Good to see you, Pat, as always, my bro. We got Robin as well. Good to see you, sir. We got Ron. What is up, brother? Good to see you. We got Ryan as well. Great movement. Congrats on your movement, bro. We got Scott, as I mentioned, Teresa, great movement as well, and Tristan. Guys, I'm excited for today's session. We're having a very, very in-depth session today. We're going to be popping the hood on a few things and walking you guys through straight up how I'm launching these campaigns and giving you guys like a really, really good kind of visual session today, which I think is awesome. So we're going to cover quite a few things here today, guys. So do me a favor. I'm going to go ahead and try to talk for 2-3 minutes so all the late stragglers get in here, right? And no one's late, and we can go ahead and start going through all the stuff that I want to cover today. So what we're going to be going through, guys, is we're going to be covering a Watt CBO campaign setup, okay, the budget for it, as well as algorithmic, okay, Kaching bundles pricing model, okay, the Starbucks pricing model that we use with Kaching bundles, how we use it and why, as well as more in-depth focus on our desired KPIs and why we aim for certain KPIs that we do and the lore behind it, okay, as well as our creative structure as well, what's been working really good lately, and also some fun Facebook statistics for you guys as well that I think is going to give you guys a really good understanding as to why creatives are the backbone at this point, as well as how to hook stack in your creative iterations, as well as how to use PP ads in Caldia, as well as scaling by 20%, signature collection, and also some extra things that we'll go through as well if we have time. So first and foremost, guys, what I want to really just start off by saying is I want to go through our full-on ad account today and basically walk you guys through my thought process and what the hell my brain is going through as I'm building out these campaigns. Because there's a lot of moving parts, but it's also a lot more simple than, the ad account makes it seem. So if everyone's ready, everyone's got their pen, paper, everything, just give me a 1 down below if you're all ready to rock. We will be answering questions throughout the session here today. Just drop them down below. Just make sure it's relative to what our lesson is, because I want to stay focused on these points today, because I want to make sure these are all knocked out for all of us. Okay, so if you have a question about something, drop it in our chat below. We'll respond to it on the spot. Just please make sure it's relative to what we're talking about here. I want to stay very, very focused. So one of the biggest things that I want to say with Facebook ads, right? And guys, this is something I've been wanting to do for a while. I've been wanting to really try to just really break down the barrier with how we think about Facebook ads and how they really are, right? So I'll start off by saying, if you're in the ad account or you're in the Facebook ads manager and you think you've duplicated something, you think you've created a campaign and then it just magically disappears, but you could have swore that you just made that campaign, you're not crazy. Okay, you're not crazy. This is happening to me a lot lately, and it's always happened the last 10 years, right? You make a campaign, you launch it, you duplicate something, and like you swore you just did it, but now it's like not in front of you, right? Give me a 2 down below that's ever happened, where you think you're going crazy, but the ad account is just absolutely bugging, right? Yeah, that happens more so than you can imagine. Okay, and I want to basically walk you through the nuances of the ad account, as well as how we launched our Watt CBO, our wide open targeting CBO, and ultimately how we can flow through the ad account as effectively as possible. So, yeah, there's so many times, guys, where you're going to be in the ad account and you're going to think you're going crazy, but in reality, it's just the ad account bugging out. Now, here's one of the things you want to be aware of as well. You have to learn how this platform bugs out. Right? It's not just like, oh yeah, like, we're gonna, it's like it's the same every time. No, it bugs to like a very high extent, to the point where I can't believe Facebook is a multi-billion-dollar company and Zuckerberg just won't put in the funds to fix it. Let me tell you why I think that is, because there's probably so much convoluted code in the back end of building this that it would be almost an impossible task to send a developer in to go ahead and fix what's already been built, right? So it works perfectly, but you might go crazy thinking that when you duplicate something or launch something, right, it just disappears. No, it's not disappearing. You just need a quick refresh, right? And a quick refresh usually has it populate. Okay, so let's get into it today. Who also hopped in? Let's take a look. Jordan, good to see you, brother. Very good. Mike, good to see you as well. Very nice. Nolan, good to see you, sir. What's going on, Nolan? Very good. Redzwan, great movement. Congratulations as well. Good to see you. Samuel, very nice. Yasani, Yerson, Yusuf. Very good. Okay, so now and Muhammad, good to see you, sir. All right, now that we got all of us here, let's start to move forward on this. So, guys, the first thing I want to talk about, okay, on this list is our wide open targeting CBO setup. Okay, now what is the difference with this? Okay, I'm going to move this over here. What is the difference with this and algorithmic targeting? Let's talk about it. I want you guys to understand the real differences between WAT and algo and why we'll use both in many scenarios, while we use one or the other in many scenarios, and how to determine which case is you. So WAT CBO stands for wide open targeting CBO. Okay. And the whole point of having a wide open targeting CBO or a WAT CBO is to allow Facebook to utilize its Advantage Plus features as you create the campaigns, which we'll go through here in a second. Okay. It's also utilizing the general population of a certain country. So if we select USA, Canada, Australia, UK, okay, like we're going to do inside the ad account, you're going to see that, okay, it's basically saying that all of the United States, Canada, UK, and Australia is in the picture for who can possibly get hit with our ad. And that's exactly correct. Okay, any type of person that Facebook deems in the core 4 in USA, Canada, Australia, UK could be an individual that gets hit with the ad. Okay, so first we're going to talk about CBO, then we're going to jump into algorithmic thereafter. Okay, but first and foremost, when we're launching our CBO campaigns, one of the things I want you guys to understand here is there's three levels, as we know: campaign, ad set, and ad. Very basic shit. Okay, but there's a few features I want you guys to see that you may have not toyed with yet that we use as we start to scale high. Okay, we're just gonna touch on it here. We're not gonna go too deep into cost caps or anything like that. But the cost cap strategy that you guys saw that I use every time I launch or scale with cost cap, right? You get to that setting inside the campaign level, which is the first folder here, right? So if you see campaign bid strategy, right, what you would do is you would change it to cost per result goal, right? That's when you're having a very, very successful campaign, you're scaling really deep, and you're simply going to duplicate that campaign over into a cost cap campaign, a cost per result goal. Okay, this is where you would do it. We're not going to talk too much about that right now. We're going to talk about our normal CBO launch. Okay, now CBO stands for campaign budget optimization, as we know. I'm going to just hit on even all the basics here, regardless. Okay, the reason that we use CBO is because we want Facebook to determine where to send our spend to. Okay. When you're doing a CBO campaign, Facebook will literally send your spend to the group of ad sets that you create within here, right? And the first ad set that we're creating is WAT 1, okay? Because this is going to contain our first 10 to 15 creatives that we're adding inside of our actual CBO. And every day that we add a new fleet of creatives, we're going to add a new ad set: WAT 2, WAT 3, WAT 4, WAT 5, okay? Only difference between these ad sets, guys, is that there's different creatives being uploaded in each, okay? And the reason that we're doing that is because CBO will allow us to diversify and send the spend across all different ad sets at once, okay? But here's the magic of Facebook, and we always want to take Facebook's word for it most of the time, okay? Most of the time. And the reason that there's a nuance there is because sometimes Facebook won't give spend to a creative that actually will perform, but it's very seldom. You don't want to assume that, you don't want to assume it's doing that every time, okay? So keep that in mind here. We start with a CBO campaign. CBO stands for campaign budget optimization, and the goal here is to let Facebook do the heavy lifting for us, okay? And when testing products, right, we know we have to go through and test products. It's important to realize that having the ability to go ahead and have a CBO campaign spread your spend across many creatives at once is a major advantage, okay? Is a major advantage because you're enabling Facebook to basically see 10, 15 creatives at once, right? And then decide which ones deserve to spend. Okay. So here on campaign level, you're not really changing much, right? You're not really changing much, guys, right? Change the budget to $50, right? I have so many ad accounts, right? I have had my multiple BMs for over 10 years, right? And I have so many different ad accounts, okay, that have sat, right? And when an ad account sits, and I want everyone to write this piece down, when an ad account sits and is dormant, and let's say you have 5, 10 other, 15 other ad accounts you're using, but these other 5 or 10 that you have are dormant, right? What will happen is Facebook oftentimes will make it seem like they've been rejected or disabled. Okay. If any of us, okay, have an older BM, and please listen to me here because this unlocked like another 10 ad accounts for me, right? And that's major because all the different things we're launching, you need to have a lot of different ad accounts. Okay. If you have an older Facebook account in which you have had ad accounts open before, and those ad accounts, when you open them up, they say, hey, disabled or disabled for, not non-use. What you can do is you go in those ad accounts, right? And you click through the red activity log that it will show at the top, and it will allow you to reactivate the ad account. Okay. That has not always been the case. Okay. Many times it would just disable them or not make them re-enableable. Now they are re-enableable. So everyone write down, please go through all of your past ad accounts, okay, and go through and see if you can have any of the dormant ones re-enabled. Because even if you don't need 10 of them right now, you will, right? Because you're either scaling, building up multiple brands, or you're starting to, right? Or you're testing. And then the whole goal here is that you understand what you're doing to the point where you can build up these brands over and over again. So you will need more than one ad account because one ad account, okay, sticks with one certain niche or brand or product. Okay. So number one there, I want you to write down is go through your past ad accounts and re-enable them. Do it all at once, right? You could start to get back 5 or 10 of them. Okay. Now, a lot of the time, you'll also have spend limits, okay, on your accounts, okay? When you have spend limits on your accounts, it will not let you increase, okay, your budget, okay? As you can see here, there's not much of a spend limit on mine because I've been literally spending millions of dollars on ads, right, forever, since I was over 10 years ago, right? And the whole point here is notice how it's not saying, oh, no, you can't do that high. Right? It might now. No. But see, what the whole point is here, what I want you to realize is Facebook's like a credit score almost. Even in one ad account where you start spending a good amount of money or you're proving to Facebook that you are keeping the spend going and you're paying your bills, it's going to play a role in how they treat you on your other ad accounts and the other assets that you use with Facebook. How would I know this? Because I've been doing this since I was 15, 16 years old, 17, 18 years old. I'm telling you, and this ad account I barely have even used, right? It's just one of the ad accounts that we have, right? I don't think I had like one campaign in this, right? But how am I having 100K a day ability to look? That's crazy, right? That doesn't just happen on an ad account, right? That's because I've shown them years and years and years, right? Of paying my credit card bills and everything, right? And not being late, etc. So realize that when you have the card on your account that you know is going to get rejected, but maybe we don't feel like calling the bank and whitelisting Facebook, you're creating a silent red flag in the back of Facebook and say, oh, he rejected 7, 8, 10, however many times. And guys, don't get me wrong. I've probably rejected over 100 times, right? So many times, right? So many times, right? But the deal is to be proactive, right? Because you know that Facebook is one of the craziest control panels, right, that you can possibly have access to in the marketing world. And if you know what you're doing, this is life. This is life right here, okay? This ad system, this ad platform, as we know, this is the top ad platform, guys. Anyone who's doing real money knows this is the top ad platform. And this is life, right? You can set yourself free with this damn ad platform. So I will not do anything to jeopardize that knowing, okay? Most is like a bank. When you pay your bills, they give you more line of credit and more money to spend, upgrade the limit of cards. Literally the exact same way, except you don't really have a credit score here. You just will be told nothing, except you won't be able to raise your budget past 500 until you prove yourself by having maybe 3, 4, 5, 10, 15 transactions with them. Okay. So realize that. Yeah. So you will not see this on your account in most cases. right? You will be able to see that when you prove to Facebook over time. So keep that in mind. But guess what? It doesn't matter if you have $1 zillion or only 50 bucks. We only launch with $50. Doesn't matter how rich we are, how many billions we have. We still are launching with the same small budget strategy on every product, every brand launch ever, right? Doesn't matter how much money you have, right? Because the goal is to get your KPIs in line at a small budget, right? Tweak things, modify, edit things, refine things at a small budget, get your KPIs in line, then start scaling by 20%. Exactly. Literally exactly. And here's the thing, guys. Sometimes you're not going to be violating the rules, right? You're not going to be violating the rules and you just get a rejection or a ban. Okay. But let me tell you right now, the worst that's ever been was during the 2016 presidential election. That was the worst it's ever been. You want to know why? Because during elections, what happens is the candidates are dumping so much effing money into Facebook and Instagram ads that the platform literally caters to them massively, and it starts to mess up the internals of Facebook, right? So you'll see during election years that we literally see more rejections and faulty bans when you did nothing wrong. And that's when you submit the rebuttal and they say, oh, sorry, we were wrong, right? And that you get your ad account reapproved, okay? But realize that, exactly like Mo said. Now, Yusan goes, when testing products, would you recommend to have just one pixel for all the niches we are testing or different pixels for each niche? So up to 100 sales, if I achieve 100 sales with a certain product, that pixel is now for that product only, okay? So for example, let's say, Lee, we launch our hair cream, right? And we achieve 100 sales with that particular product, right? We're not going to go ahead and use that particular pixel to launch something completely different, right? Maybe something similar, but something completely different. If you want to build like a secondary brand or something like that, right? We're going to be using a different pixel and ad account altogether. So you still have to answer your question. You achieve 100 sales with one product, right? That pixel now becomes that product's pixel, right? Because it's now trained, right, for that particular consumer. That's how I've always went about it, right? Oh, 100%, Jordan. And honestly, like, it was bad forever, right? With Facebook and their finicky moves. But now, like it has not been bad. Like the last 3 years have been really, really good. Really, really good, really smooth. And I'm really happy to see that. But yeah, like a few years ago, 4 or 5, 6+ years ago, you couldn't even freaking tinker in the ad account. I remember I was in my ad account and I went to Canada. I took my family to Montreal. It was the second time I was ever in Canada. First time was when I got invited to Shopify, right? But the second time I was ever in Canada, and then I was just modifying my ads, and I was, that time when you basically like everything's perfect, you have it all launched ready to go, but you just go deeper, you start making changes you don't need to make. That's what I basically did. And I tried launching a worldwide campaign. And when you launch worldwide campaigns, there are different rulings that have to be approved, right, inside of your ad account if you're launching to places like Singapore or other countries, right? And I was tinkering with it too much, and then as I'm in there, it just rejects it right in front of my face. I didn't even do it. I'm like, oh, classic Facebook, right? It doesn't happen much anymore. But my advice with that: do as little budget or changes as you need to in the ad account as necessary. You don't want to do anything extra. Once you're done, shut the laptop and get out, right? Do not be in here longer than you need to be, okay? And frankly, what I also, we'll go through all this. I don't want to get too much off topic. But if you're traveling and you don't need to be in the ad account, don't go in the ad account and just start, messing around and looking at things just because you're bored. Okay, there's no reason to be in the ad account unless you're looking at data that you need to look at or you need to make a move. When you're done, X out, shut the laptop. Okay, because this thing will reject you and ban you falsely. Okay, it's actually insane. I can't believe Zuckerberg doesn't think. Well, he has. It's just not perfect yet, but I don't think it'll ever be perfect. Okay, so $50 starting budget. Okay, we don't touch anything. You see all these buttons here that make you seem like, oh my God, this is overwhelming. No, it's really not. Okay, it's not. We touch a few buttons and we move on. So $50 a day, doesn't matter how rich you are, how much money you have, whatever. You're starting with $50 a day regardless. And as you know, with algorithmic targeting, we're starting with $5 a day regardless as well, which is basically $50 a day too. Okay, let me also go ahead and pin everyone can see me still, right? Everyone can see me, not see the screen perfectly. And good, guys? Thanks, guys. Okay, perfect. Okay, now, guys, thank you, guys. One of the things I want to mention with this as well everything that you guys are learning here, right? Regardless if you're scaled up, still testing, whatever, what you're learning here and how to use this platform. I want to just straight up tell us that this is the most valuable thing that I know. This is the most valuable thing that I know, right? Being able to operate this machine is worth millions and millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars to me, right? And to the person who will eventually generate millions of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, whatever, it's worth the same to you. Okay? Even if you haven't reached millions and millions of dollars yet, doesn't matter. Realize that what you're doing and the skill sets you are obtaining here are of the 1%. Are of the 1%. Okay? You just knowing how to use my systems, run this, all the know-how throughout the entire process and process of building an e-commerce brand, whatnot. You are in the 1% of people who know how to actually do real marketing in 2026. Okay? And I don't care how high scaled you are or how big britches you get, right? There's always going to be new shit to learn. Okay? And it's important to realize that whether you're brand new in testing or you're scaled up, right, and you have multiple brands, you need to remain a student to this platform because this platform is always changing. And it's not because Zuckerberg's sitting here like, hey, let's do this, this, and that. They're trying to do anything that's super pro Facebook. And Facebook has the best consumer data you can possibly imagine, right? Anyone doing real money, they're spending a lot more money on Facebook ads and Instagram ads than they are on TikTok, right? So realize that the skill sets that you amass and obtain here are literally worth millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars, even if you haven't even launched, okay? Realize that. Now, when you learn how to do these things, not just physical product brands, you can literally take to market any company you want. If you want to build an electric company, you know an electrician? Now you can go to them and say, hey, by the way, Chris, or electrician guy, you're phenomenal electric. I know how to obtain consumers. Okay. I know how to build proper, advertising systems, right? You could build companies just from the mere understanding of this platform. Okay. Not just physical product brands, but also service-based businesses, vice versa, etc. Okay. Everything that we know here is completely interchangeable. When I'm running ads for my service-based businesses, I'm using pretty much the same shit we do here, right? For our physical product brands. So realize that if you're someone who says, oh, you know what, Justin, I built this brand, I have these stores. I also want to build an agency though, because I actually understand how to run ads. I know how to do this. Open an agency as well, right? I'm telling you right now, one of the things that people will say is don't do too many things at once. And I completely agree with that. And I'm always an advocate for that. And guys, I'm going to go deep today, right? So we're going to be here for a bit. Okay. Yeah. And I'll answer that even deeper in a second, Jordan. But literally the ability to run these ads, you can open an agency, and you might be like, oh, Justin, why would you tell us that? You do that too. Why would you want us to compete? You are my client, and I want to see you win as hard as you possibly can effing win, right? I'll literally do anything in my power to see that happen on any angle, okay? I want you guys to understand, if you're running your own business, but you understand ads, I'm telling you right now, okay? And you have yourself a store, 2, 3 stores, whatever. You can run these stores. And yes, I agree. Don't do too many things. Don't go into stock trading and crypto markets and do all this random shit. Stay under the umbrella of what we are doing here. Running an ad agency is just doing the things we're already talking about and walking through and coaching you on and going back and forth every day together for another brand, right? And what's really cool about this, right, is you could build 5, 10, 15, 20 plus clients, right? Paying you $5K a month, 7.5K a month retainer, right? They will, I'm telling you, these brands, and what happens is these brands, they figured out their flow, right? And now they want to hand it off to somebody. And when they know you've went through training like this, right? And you've been coached like this, right? Because this is a very well-known program. These people will be like, oh, that's perfect. It's like a certificate of authenticity, right? They'll want to go through and hire you. So my thought process here, and look, I'm going to go through and tell you guys everything, right? Why would you not make money in every way that you can with the same skill set? The problem is when you start learning this and then you're like, oh, let me go off and do crypto. No, establish yourself building your physical product brands, build a portfolio, and you could either sell them off individually or you could sell those physical product brands off as a roll-up altogether, right? Because the sum, when you combine them and you do a roll-up, the sum of them together is bigger than each one individually combined. Jasher is about to make over $1 million net profit from his sale. One of the stores we built here, he's about to build 3 more. He's selling that first one if he gets the offer he wants, which he's going to. That brand is insane that he's built, right? And what's cool about it, he's going to make over $1 million net in one just by selling the brand. After all fees and everything, $1 million net, okay, from one store that he built right here, okay. And he's going to do 3 more, same exact system, same exact things that he's done. Actually, you know, he actually wouldn't update the creatives as much as I would like him to. So I had him change that and all the difference, right? And I'm telling you right now as well, okay? When you learn the skill set, you could duplicate the result over and over. It's not easy. He didn't just have $1 million sale easily. This guy's busted his ass, struggled at first the whole 9. But guess what? Now he's able to do the same thing 3, 4 more times, right? And the same thing with many of us, right? Now, realize, for example, for someone like yourself, Rezwan. Rezwan is an individual, right? He has a successful brand that he built here in PSF. He also has a service company as well that he does in real estate, right? And guess what, right? A lot of what he's going to be doing in the service-based side is very similar to what we do here in physical product ad scaling, okay? There's different nuances, etc. But the foundational understanding that he has here of these is allowing him to build another company on the side from a successful brand. So my whole point and reason I'm mentioning this is because when I got into e-commerce and digital marketing, guys, and I started building digital product brands, I didn't realize what was on the other side of my know-how on it. On the other side of my know-how was not only my ability to build physical product brands and take products to market whenever I want, but I can do it over and over again as many times as I please, literally, for literally years, okay? But I can also build other companies and styles of brands as well within the same breath. Because when you're building, and this is how I build all the stuff that I build, right? Whether it's physical product brand, service-based, whatever it is. The way that I build it is I have an umbrella. Everything that sits under my umbrella, right, is all relative and correlating businesses, business models, businesses, and strategies that I can particularly use, right? That I can particularly use across the board. I'm not building an umbrella and then going outside of it. I'm building my umbrella like this, and everything that I build is completely in line with it because it's all based off the same exact strategies and walkthroughs we're about to go through here today, right? And that is one of the things I want us to realize. Realize the versatility, the opportunity, and the vast literal opportunities that you guys have just by knowing this. It is insane. And what I don't want that to do is say, oh, let's go ahead and build 15 companies. No, one at a time, move on to the next, one at a time, move on to the next, one at a time, move on to the next, right? And if you do this over and over and over, it's not easy. This shit's not easy. I'm pulling my hair out, right? It's not easy, okay? But when you understand how to do this and you struggle forward and you fail forward, right? And you finally make it work. I mean, oh shit, I made it work. And then your confidence is like 10x and you know how to do it. And you could do it 15, 20, 30, 100 more times. Literally, that is how it works. Okay. It's just for my new folks, it's just the first, you just got to see it for yourself once. And then the whole rest changes in terms of like your trajectory of your life. Right. And for my guys who already have portfolios, etc., right? Go deeper into exploiting your skill sets. Exploit your skill sets. Right? If you're phenomenal at running your brand up and you're disgustingly good at reading your KPIs and being able to predict the future of your brand, you could have an agency, right? Where not only are you doing media buying for all these other companies, now you can build a team. And guess what? Now that team that you build that's running your agency is now part of the team that runs your brands. Okay? And you build an entire web or ecosystem of team, businesses, etc. And then essentially your team runs all your companies, right? And that's how you could scale yourself massively and really get to a point where you have people offering you exits, etc., the whole thing, right? And we'll get deeper into this, but I wanted to open our mind to that because it's very, very, very real. Okay, very, very real. And awesome, Reg. And again, Redzone, you're a very decorated individual. Congrats on your success on your physical product brands here. And I'm also looking forward to seeing you crush it even further with service. You're the type of person that you can open an agency, my friend, and you do very, very well. Right? Mo goes, before I even made a decision to join BSF, I shared the manual with Claude and ChatGPT separately and asked them about their opinion to join the program. And they both had separately agreed that the farm is one of the most powerful programs in the market, right? To learn ecom. Mostly when you ask Claude those questions, they will tell you save your money, but not when I present it to farm. They both agreed to the cost and how valuable the program. I appreciate that very much, Mo. Also, guys, fun fact. You guys know Brez Scales? You guys know Brez Scales. He's the most viral guy on the whole internet. Right? Want to know how he's my client as well? Want to know how he found me? He just asked ChatGPT, who has the best track record, who has the best review? He just asked ChatGPT, and it gave him myself, and that's how Brez became my client, right? And I built out his whole backend Slack channel, his whole backend system that they use for like their sales processes, everything, which is super cool. Jordan, and guys, I hope you don't mind that I am going on run-ons. We are going to be here for quite a while because I want to go super in depth with you guys. So we got time today. It's Sunday, right? Just give me one down below if you guys don't mind. I want to take my time. I want to go through everything. I want to share as much value as I possibly can. I want to have one of those sessions. Amazing. Amazing, guys. Okay. So to answer George's question, what is the best way to acquire agency clients? So guys, I want to walk you through what I discovered. And again, guys, we're going to be here for a bit. So I appreciate that very much. So guys, I discovered something insane. And Lee, this is going to be absolutely insane for you off the bat. So listen to this. Anyone who's taking a product to market that also is coupled with like an in-person store, like for example, Lee has an incredible cream that's been refined over and over that everyone loves. He also has a very successful barbershop, right? What I want to walk you guys through is, and I'm going to get to everything else below Jordan's after I kind of get my point across here. So he goes, what's the best way to acquire agency clients? And it couples up with my point for Lee. Offline data, Jordan, is one of the hacks that I've found for even my own agency ads. So when you have 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years of like offline data, right? And I'm going to put this in two parts. When you usually start an agency, you're not going to have offline data, right? So I'm going to talk about when you have like, let's say a few years under your belt of customers or purchasers or clients, right? You could take that offline data, upload it into the events manager in your ad account right here, right? And what happens is you select the pixel that's attached to your ad account and you upload all of the CSV file data in a hashed for Facebook way. What that means, and I know that sounds like gibberish, but what that means, guys, is let's say Lee has 5 years, 6 years plus of data of people who have came into his barbershop and has purchased products from him and has also purchased haircuts from him. What you have the opportunity to now do, Lee, is not let Facebook move slow by optimizing for purchase. And guys, stick with me here, okay? You know how we usually have to go ahead and get a few purchases coming in. It's like grueling. We got to spend money to get a few purchases to buy data, right? It's the most annoying thing. That and testing are the number two things that we all hate, right? It's testing and then buying data, right? You know how we have to get a few sales and our pixel learns, right, who our purchasers are? That's how it works. When you have offline data, right, like you do, Lee, right, what you do is you download every single purchaser or customer you've ever had, and you upload it into your events manager, and you upload a .csv file, which is this Excel spreadsheet file format that you'll be able to download of all your customers. And then what you do is you take that file data, you upload it into Claude. You say, hey, Claude, I'm about to go ahead and upload my data into Facebook. Please do me a favor and make it a Facebook approved and Facebook hashed CSV file. What that means is basically fancy terms for make it so that Facebook will accept it. Because when you get the normal CSV file format, it's not going to accept it. Okay? When you hash it correctly and give it to Claude, it will give it back to you in the hash way and you can upload. This is what I did in one of my lead-based companies over the last like 8 weeks. And it was the most incredible change we've ever seen in that company's history ever, right? Ever. Overnight changed the business, overnight. Okay? And if, like you are, Lee, anyone else has that type of setup, most people come in like they're selling product for the first time. But if you're taking your product to market and you have past purchases for several years, you can literally, without spending a dollar, train your pixel on 6 to 10+ years of data. Now, Facebook is supposed to only take a year's worth of that hash data. What you do is you upload it into Claude and you let it know, hash it for Facebook. It's going to take all that data and put it in a 1-year format, and then Facebook will accept it. So when you launch Lead, you're not going to have a purchase pixel be prime. You're going to have a prime purchase pixel without even spending a penny. Right? And you have that ability because you have so many purchasers in the past, etc., and you've had the business, right? That's one thing to realize for anyone in that same case. Now, to answer Jordan's question, somewhat of a similar way. Let's say you're someone like myself, and I opened an agency called digitalfounder.com, okay, which I literally just did. So with digitalfounder.com, guess what I'm doing, Jordan? And I haven't even launched these ads yet because I've been so busy with the physical product brands and BSF and everything else we have going on. But I'm gonna launch these ads, and I should have launched them 2-3 weeks ago, but I just been so busy. What I'm gonna be doing is taking all the past 10 years of data that I have through BSF, right? And since Digital Founder is typically only 15K or higher, right, for that type of service, right? I'm going to take all the 15K purchasers, right, hash the data, take those only, and then put them to the Digital Founder pixel and do manual data upload. So off the bat, I'm not even going to be optimizing for lead. Okay, and this is the biggest thing I want you guys to understand. When you're doing an agency build, most of these people who don't know what they're doing, they're optimizing for lead conversion event, right? And what you're doing, and guys, think of it like this. If you're optimizing for lead conversion event while you're doing a pixel, we're going to get back to the scope here in a second, but I want you guys to hear this stuff because this is what you got to hear. Okay, when you're optimizing for lead conversion event, you're basically training your pixel to get you the cheapest, lowest quality lead that you possibly can. Okay, and what's crazy about it? Please listen to this, guys. I'm a victim of this. I ran this shit for years, right? And the amount of money I probably left on the table, genuinely, guys, and it's bittersweet. I probably left an extra like 500K a month on the table, right, by not doing this earlier. Okay, and I want you to understand why, because that sounds insane, but this is it changed the company overnight, and it maintained for additional 3-4 weeks, right, without adjustment because it was a hardware change. Think of it like this. When you're optimizing for lead, it's like optimizing for view content, right? In your actual, so for example, all these pieces are things that we can optimize for, right? So as we know, we're in our CBO, right? We're going to ad set level, right? And we have to select our conversion event, right? In the subject matter we're talking about now, because Jordan asked what's the best way to acquire agency clients, it's by having the smartest pixel you could possibly get. But what you're going to automatically do is you're going to optimize for lead, right? Because you just think, oh, I'm just looking for leads, right? I'm just looking for leads. And that's what I did for a long time as well. And I got so good, right, at driving traffic with it that I was still able to make it profitable and scale. But I was playing on hard mode for no reason. What you're doing, and this is what you're going to do, Lee, and this is what I would recommend. This is how I would recommend starting an agency. And if there's someone like myself starting an agency like Digital Founder, what you're going to do is you're going to get all your previous data of the type of customers that fit the bill of that company that you're launching. Okay, and then what's going to happen is you're going to have the ability to now upload all that past data into your purchase pixel, right? So usually when you make sales, your data is going to automatically be uploaded into your purchase pixel like as the sale comes in. But because you're Lee or somebody who has 1 year, 2 years, 3 + 5 years of data, you're going to take that whole CSV file, hash it for Facebook, make it within 1 year, go into the events manager, select your ad account, select your pixel, select your purchase pixel event, and then upload all the data. What's going to happen is it's going to take Facebook 48 to 72 hours to go ahead and completely hash all the data. What that means, it's going to upload all of your data to the purchase pixel. Now what you do is you would specifically run purchase ads as well to your agency and not lead. It's so similar to what we do here. This is why I'm telling you guys, when you get to the point where you built your brand, you're scaled, you're crushing, you have multiple brands, consider having an agency as well, right? Because you're doing the same damn thing you're doing on your own brands on this. Okay. I used to optimize for lead event. This is what 99% of people are doing, right? And they're absolutely out of their mind, right? Because when you actually optimize for purchase in a lead-based ecosystem, you're going to be getting way hot. You're going to be getting like double the cost per call or cost per lead. But I'm telling you, it's going to be 10 times higher quality. And this is what's going to give you the additional average order value to scale your spend even further. So Jordan, to answer your question in short, that's the best way to acquire agency clients. Now let's say you're brand new. You would start off, right, with lead, right? So basically just transition from purchase to lead, and you run it the same way we would typically run it, except you're looking at like lead KPIs, okay? And then what happens is as you get a few individuals that convert, you make sure that data is uploaded to the purchase pixel. And I would say after like 10, 15, right? Then you change it to purchase pixel and you start optimizing for purchase. So, and the best way to scale agency, okay, is by using a primed purchase pixel. The same way that we do physical product brand building, okay? This stuff is literally interchangeable. I want us to understand, it may look like a time machine. I know, guys, I know even like for my veterans, I know it looks fine, doesn't matter. But for you new folks, I know it's like, it looks crazy. You don't click 99% of this stuff. I'm telling you right now. Okay. You don't click 99% of it. Okay. So keep that in mind. Everything that you're learning here, you can literally take all my systems. You could just say it's yours. Okay. Because you're a client of mine, they are yours. Okay. And build an agency where you help other people grow their brands just like you've grown yours. Right? I wouldn't recommend doing that until you're at the point where you're scaled and you understand everything perfectly, but just know that exists and I recommend it and I'll have no problem helping you do it. Okay. Now, with that being said, yep, Robert, that's exactly correct. Ron's response there is exactly correct. And also, Robert, congratulations on your results as well. You're absolutely milking. Your CPA is amazing. You literally have CPA from like $2 to $12. Congratulations. Right? And it's sticking consistently, very profitable. Okay. Now, and yeah, Fletch, for someone like yourself, younger dude, right? I think you're the youngest on this entire mastermind, right? Think about this. Okay. Because you have a ton of energy. You could do a bunch of things at once. I just turned 30. I feel it a little bit. I feel amazing, but like, you know, you're young to the point where you could do 15 things at once. Right. So my advice to you is not do 15 things that are random at once. Master the skill of everything we're doing here and then apply it in all these different ways that I'm talking about. Because then you will have so many different income streams, it's going to be ridiculous. Right. By the time you're my age, it's like unreasonable that you're not well off. Right. Because you're that young. So realize that. Seriously. Okay. Mike, I love that, brother. I love that. Let's go. AI's on my side. Love it. Okay. Very, very good. Yeah, and another thing I want to mention as well, and this is like going to be a weird statement, but I want to say it anyway. If you're someone who has a lot of money, right, just learn this shit, and you can literally have so many different brands. You can have a whole portfolio of physical product brands, your service-based companies, your creative. Literally, it's what I did. Okay, and I'm telling you right now, like at first, like. Even if you have a lot of money, but you're gun shy at first because you're just getting started, realize that, you know, when you learn these skill sets, like spending some money to build other companies is a good idea because the backbone of you being a 1%er in this is just genuinely understanding these systems. Like if you just get it and you just understand, not even that you're doing $1 million a month or 100K a month, right? But you just understand it and you put in the work and you get it and you understand it. You could be like I'm telling you right now, the amount of things that you can do just by understanding this stuff and knowing it in a systemized formatting like we present it and have it here is all it takes, right? You want to be very, very good at what you do, right? But realize when you understand this and you have taken the time to spend money and invest into knowledge and information and you yourself are now an asset, the multiple that you can literally make on this is absolutely ridiculous. The reason I say if you have a lot of money, it's even better, right? Because it is. You could just start building a company after buying domain after domain, buy this domain, all the OG domains, and you could just start building companies off the backbone of what you've learned here. That's what you can do. So I'm telling you right now, okay? Keep in the back of your mind. Maybe you've already mastered this. Maybe you've already scaled. Maybe you already have multiple brands, like Redspot, whatever. That's you. Don't keep yourself confined to just one craft your skill set now, okay? Your skill set now literally has the ability to do like many different things all under the same umbrella. Okay. And that's one of the paths I want us all to follow because that's one of the things I've done in my career. Okay. Very good. Many goes, the farm method is really amazing to know. And I'm lucky to have followed just some. Emmanuel, I appreciate you very much, bro. And that's why I love this community because I have like a lot of you guys have like watched me like grow up. You know what I mean? Like you've watched me grow up. You watched me from like a little guy, to everything that we've done. And it's awesome. And it's freaking awesome. And I freaking love you guys for that, because I have like my life is this. I have literally like no exaggeration. My life was literally this, right? All I do is this. And I freaking love it, right? And I freaking love it. And especially because all the things that I'm doing are piggybacking off of the same damn skill sets I learned when I first got my first sale ever on Shopify, right? The same systems, all that is what I'm using to this day to build all these companies, right? It's the greatest skill set I've ever amassed in my entire life. And to me, it's literally worth tens of millions of dollars. And soon it'll be worth hundreds of millions of dollars to me. Okay. Realize that. And to you as well, when you use it properly and correctly and consistently. Shit ain't easy. It's not easy at all. Actually, it's effing hell sometimes. But it's the greatest skill set I've ever amassed. And it will be the same for yourself. Okay. Redstone goes, how many purchase pixels are we looking? For the example we were talking about before, Redstone, typically it's like 10 to 15 when you're brand new if you don't have offline data for the agency build out. Jordan goes to no cold calling or cold emailing, just 100%. And let me tell you guys one thing, cold calling is like dead. Like, it's not that it's dead, but I'll just run ads. Just run ads, right? Because why am I going to sit there and cold call when I can spend the same exact time running ads with what you already know and getting way better at clientele? That's what you want to do, okay? Chris, I want to be 29 forever. I'm 30 now. I love that flex. Let's go. Very good. Well, here's the thing, Jordan. Like typically you want to be good at your craft first, but yeah, like even if you don't have testimonials, want to know how you get them, approach people like, yo, I really know my shit and I think I could beat your OS. And guys, a lot of these brand owners, this is a really good point. A lot of these brand owners who have brands that are doing 500K, it's $1 million. It's not that they're like better marketers than the person who's like not at that point yet. They just have a product that's doing what you're probably a better marketer than them, right? And I wouldn't say probably, but in many cases, right, the guy behind the 500K month brand, 300K month brand, $1 million month brand is not that special of a marketer, right? They're not. They just got product market fit and then made the numbers work, right? And you jump in there and you say, Jordan, you're like, you know what? Chris, send me over your KPIs. I want to take a look, and you think you could beat his cost per acquisition? In many cases, you can. As a matter of fact, one of my new clients is a 22-year-old coffee brand, and they do 100K a month, and I'm running all their ads for them. Why? Because I looked at their ad account. I'm like, whoever's running this has no idea what they're doing, right? They're uploading, like the dude had 2 creatives live. You know how we say 10, 15 a day? The guy had 2. I'm like, and guess what? It's a coffee brand that has a major differentiator to them. Okay? It's like acid-free coffee type thing, right? And they're around for 22 years and they do 100K a month, but their Facebook media buying is trash. The brand should be doing a lot more than that, right? So I like, he approached me and I looked at it, and usually I won't take on projects like that, but I just looked at it. I'm like, yeah, this is easy. So it just fell in my lap. Same thing that can happen to you as well. You just look at like, everything we're doing in BSF is like expert mode compared to what needs to be done here, right? And then you land a client, and then you could have, you could either do it for free, right? If you're brand new, obviously I charge, right? But if you're free, if you're new, you could do it for free and just get yourself a great case study, right? Keep that in mind. Very good. Resume. I have more than that, so I create a CSV. You're not, and Redzone, we'll help you with this. But no, you're not going to make it look like audience. You're just going to take all the data you have and upload it in your events manager to your purchase pixel for your agency. And we'll walk you through that when you get to that. And Moger's customers know the drill. No, so we have to be correct. Exactly. Okay. So great talk there. Now let's get back to the main point. We launched CBO, $50 a day budget. Okay. And then we move on. There's nothing else that you need to do here unless you're running cost cap strategies. Okay. 100% got you, brother. Totally got you. Okay. Now, with that being said, you don't choose. Give me a 1 down below, guys, if you've ever seen when you launch your ad, it's like, oh, you got to add a WhatsApp number in. You have to add and it keeps giving you the red alert at the top. And it's like, you got to add a WhatsApp number. You got to add a WhatsApp number. We don't use WhatsApp. What are you talking about, Facebook ad account? It's because you're choosing websites and calls. Don't choose websites and calls. You just choose single website and you never have that issue. Okay. The amount of times we had to go through and fix that, that's the answer right there. Just website, right? Very easy. Half the time, though, it already chooses website and calls, and I get to the end of it, I'm like, oh my God, all these campaigns I just made. Now I have to go change them all, right? It's just website that you select, okay? Select your pixel and your conversion event. Guys, we know we freaking out. We optimize for approach. If I ever hear anyone ask again, Justin, should we optimize for add to cart review content? No. That's some like 2016 lore but no, absolutely not. Purchase 100% of the time. I don't care what, even in the lead acquisition, you're doing purchase. Okay, when you have proper data. Okay. Now, one thing I want to walk you guys through is what we always launch, as we know, this is easy stuff for 12 o'clock. Okay. Very good. And as we know, we use Advantage Plus. Okay, and I already put the countries in here. So Australia, Canada, United States, right, and United Kingdom. That's the core 4. Okay, so we put that in, we put them into our country selections here. Very good. What I want you guys to understand, we want to use Advantage Plus when we're launching the WAC campaign. Okay, which means that you're not going to be selecting where it says further limit the reach of your ads. When we're launching algorithmic targeting, okay, that's when you select further limit the reach of your ads. But for this CBO campaign, guys, what we're doing is we're using Advantage Plus, and we're not further limiting the reach of our ads. We're letting Facebook completely do its thing. Okay? Now, what I want you to do, and Jonathan, send that to WhatsApp, and I'll have Ron tell you the next steps for yourself. And great stuff as well. Very, very good stuff. Okay. So we will be scaling with you because your numbers look good, but I don't want you to scale right now. I want to look at the actual ad account with Ron, and then we'll likely tell you to do the 20% increase. So for now, take that text and drop it into WhatsApp, tag me and Ron, and then we're just going to review it to make sure it's performing as you just said. And then if it is, we will continue scaling, but don't do it until you get the approval from me and Ron. And great stuff, by the way, John. Okay. Now, with that being said, we're using Advantage Plus. Okay, and what Advantage Plus is, my pleasure, man. What Advantage Plus is, it's based, and guys, the reason I'm telling us to do this is because this is a really great way to be cost effective. Okay, along with algorithmic targeting, these 2 ways right here are how you do cost effective media buying. Because we know our first product in most cases is not going to be your winner unless you already have a product you're coming in with, right? And you know it sells. Most product, you're not going to have your winner be your first brick of product, right? So we want to be as cost effective as we possibly can. How do we do that? Okay, by having cost limitation campaigns. Meaning what? CBO, $50 max. We're not increasing for $50, guys. Okay, unless we're profitable. Okay, and we're seeing good signs. Same thing with algorithmic targeting here. We're really not editing any of the budget, right, until we're seeing really, really great consistency, right? We'll duplicate, but keep in mind, this is like $50, and this is also like $50, right? And the rule of thumb here is if you want to launch more conservatively, you'll just launch one or the other. If you want to launch aggressively, like I like to do, I launch algorithmic and CBO. Okay. And typically you can launch the CBO or the algo. You're going to get very similar results, right? The only difference is some of the scaling moves that you do with algo compared to the CBO. And typically you're going to be killing off audiences quicker with the algo. So you'll end up, turning more off, spending less daily. right? But if you're someone where ad spend's not an issue, I would say $50 CBO and algo out the gate, right? Because I want more reach when I'm first starting, but both will not be scaled until we're performing well. And that's why I'm a really big sucker these days for the $50 CBO, because I ain't even raising that budget a little bit until it gives me sign of great movement. And because most of the products that we're testing are 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, $90 profit per unit, can make one sale and pretty much cover or go above what I'm spending that day halfway through the day, right? Just by making one or a few sales, right? Which is why I love this, right? And it makes it a lot more simple as well, because you could continue scaling it in a more compact and easy to understand way, right? And Facebook likes compact campaigns. Okay, so let's talk about it. Yep. So Jordan, all it means is $50 a day for CBO here, and then our typical $5 per ad set for algo. Both of these are very, very cost-effective campaigns, which is why we launched them. Right? We don't want to do the whole $500 or $150 starting campaign like a lot of people preach. No, that's absolute blasphemy. No, all you need is $50 and some time to let it actually play out. Now, core 4 is what we do here, and everyone, perfect. Let's all focus. I know I'm getting a little off topic. I want to stay focused. All right, very good. Now we have United States, United Kingdom, Canada, and Australia. Okay, we have that all adjusted here. Very, very good. We're launching at midnight. Very great. Right, we have purchase pixel selected. Very good. We have website here. Great. Look, we're not touching this, guys. Okay, all this extra shit. Oh my God, what does this all mean? It's confusing. Who cares? We don't who cares, right? Half the shit and all these buttons you see in here, who cares? Okay, don't let it overwhelm you. Facebook is literally just putting shit to put shit these days, literally. Okay, literally. I'm going to show you over here in the ad section. I'll walk you through it, how all of the AI recommendations, we just turn them off. Okay, so all this extra stuff that we don't talk about that we're passing by, who cares? Okay, we're not using it. Okay, now. Yep, and we're going to go through bundling. I'm going to walk you through that in a sec. We still got quite a bit to go through today, guys. We're not even past point 1. All right. Okay. Now, okay. With that being said, so my whole point of walking us through this, okay, USA, Canada, Australia, UK, very good. Now we're going below this. We have Advantage Plus on. Okay. What I don't want to do is further limit the reach of my ads. Okay. Further limit the reach of my ads. Okay, because if I do that, I'm going to be basically having the ability to do interest-based targeting, right, and all this great stuff. And like that's not what this is, right? Like, you know, that this is traditional algo. This is not what we're doing right now, right? So switch to recommended setup, okay, and we're going to have Advantage Plus on, as we know. And what I want you to understand is this. See where it says Show More Controls, guys? Click that, okay? And you see down here, Suggest an Audience. What I want you to know is that Advantage Plus allows Facebook to literally go out and do its own thing. And I love that, and we want that. But what happens here, guys, okay, is when we want Facebook to go out and do its own thing, we do not want to give it further limitations, because if we're giving it further limitations, why we believe we're giving it Advantage Plus, it's just going to act like an algo and not use all the AI, et cetera, and all the capabilities it has now. And that's not what we want in the CBO. In this CBO, we just want to give it mere suggestions, okay? So the difference between the suggestions here, below where it says Suggest an Audience, the difference between everything that you see below here and below where you see minimum age, this is hard baked in to the ruling of what goes on. So notice it only allows me to go up to 25 years old, okay? Down here, right, look, it allows me to do whatever I want, okay? Here is a hard set change and a hard set adjustment, which is good. These are some of the only settings that you can have while you run Advantage Plus that will make a hard limitation on the actual ad account, but it's not going to go ahead and take away the ability for you to use Advantage Plus in its purest form. Okay? So what you'll often see me doing is minimum age of 22. Don't leave it to 18. If you leave it to 18, because you're running such a small dollar amount of budget, you might lose some of your spend to 18, 19, 20. You want to do 22. And if you have reason to believe, no, my user base is Justin. It's only 30 and up. Okay. You're going to do 25. There's no 30. Okay. You're going to do 25 and up. Okay. But if it's, you never want to really do below 22. Okay. So you always set it to 22 and you'll still be able to use it the same way at Advantage Plus. Okay. Now, they don't need to touch any of this other stuff. Okay. With that being said, here, okay, this is merely a suggestion, right, for Facebook. It doesn't actually take it into account, right? So if I'm doing the minimum age 22 there, I'm typically going to also do minimum age 22 there. I just like to make it the same. But it doesn't really take this much into account, okay? It takes this more into account because look, we'll also keyword show ads beyond this range when it's likely to improve performance, okay? What you don't want is your limitation to be set to like 18 or below. If you set it to 18 and then it goes below beyond because it thinks it'll get you cheaper purchases. No, set your minimum age group here as I've done. Okay, and then you can make your suggestion here. But this doesn't even really matter that much. What matters is this. Okay, so I don't really care if you touch, I just don't want it to be 18. Okay, keep that in mind. Okay, 22 and up is where you can be. So no, no, you're doing well, Jonathan. I would not change it. On other subsequent campaigns that we make, then we change it. Another thing is we don't want to change shit just to change shit in here. Sometimes I'll launch something and I'll look at it after. I'm like, shit, but it's doing good. Don't touch it. Okay, we want as small adjustments as no. We do not touch if we don't need to. Okay, and exactly, Mo. Exactly. That's why we do it. Okay. Now, if we were doing algorithmic targeting and uploading an algorithmic targeting campaign, again, we would click further limit the reach of your ads. It would give us the ability to do interest-based targeting, and then we do so. Okay. Not what we're doing here in this example. Okay. Okay. Now that's that. So in short, Australia, Canada, UK, US, minimum age of 22. Okay. And then you could adjust this to 22 all the way up. Which doesn't really matter, okay, because you already have minimum age set here, and it's using Advantage Plus anyway, so it's going to go throughout the whole age range of above. Okay, now that's all perfect. Okay, all genders, but I'm always doing all genders unless I'm like completely in like it's only women buying this, like only right now. Right at first, when I'm launching something, I'll do all just to see what goes on. And if I see 90% of my sales are coming through women, then all my subsequent campaigns, etc., and maybe one of my adjustments, I'll change it to women down the road. Okay, but only if it's like fully woman, you're going to make it women. Okay, and many of the products that we find are fully woman. Okay, keep that in mind. Now, all this other stuff, don't worry about it. You're using Advantage Plus. You're using Advantage Plus. Okay, which means you let Facebook set it to how it wants. Give Facebook the actual freedom. Someone goes, what would you recommend to change the age limit for around 35 when we do anti-aging products? What I would do is I would do 25, right? Minimum age of 25, right? Because one, there's no option to go above that. And two, I don't even want the Advantage Plus exploring 20 to 25 in my anti-aging market, right? Hell no. So I'm just doing 25 just to go ahead and cut out any useless buyers that are not actually going to buy from me. Okay. Perfect. Now, with that being said, okay, and that's what you do on ad set level for what? Notice how there's a lot less controls, right? Which is very good. And then you go into ad level, right? So we go into ad level. Okay. First, let's talk about the creative naming. Okay. When we are doing this, I want you trying to find 10 to 15. It's okay if you do 5 to 10. Okay, as you're first starting, but I want you to do 10 to 15. Okay, I want you to be doing 10 to 15. It's true, Scott. That market's going insane. That market's going insane. All right, so the creative naming convention. Don't get lazy here. I used to get lazy here, and my ad accounts would be such a mess that I literally would start to sweat when I went in my. I literally would start to sweat when I went in my ad accounts from how unorganized I used to be with it. Okay. What you want to do is you want to take the time to change it first from whatever it's going to say. It's going to be like new ad, new ad, it's going to be automatically. What you want to do, let's say you have a bunch of different creatives, right? You want to categorize them all. Okay. Creative number one. Okay. And then like creative, you want to number them. You don't want to be oh, green pants or then blue shirt. No, you're gonna be very disorganized. Do it in a numbered way. Okay. Because you're gonna be adding so many different creatives, okay, that you need to know when you look in your ad account and you start looking at the results, and certain ones getting all the results and getting all the spend more than all the others. We want to know which one that is at the peak of a glance. We don't want to have to open it up, look at it, watch the ad, get in there, get confused, be in the ad account more than we need to. Okay. Make it easy for yourself. Label it accordingly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so this is creative one. Okay. What I also want you to understand, right? You are literally going to use, right, your Facebook page. You're not going to be using any Instagram. People are, oh, can I connect an Instagram? No. If you connect an Instagram to it that on a brand that is not Instagram based, that doesn't have a lot of followers, you're actually kicking yourself in the butt or shooting yourself in the foot, because what you're doing is you're like, yeah, let me go ahead and choose this blank Instagram I just created to go ahead and have my brand run from that. People are going to click on the Instagram and they're going to be like, there's fucking 4 followers on here. Why would I? Okay, use your Facebook page for the Instagram profile as well. Fun fact: most of these companies doing 100K, 500K plus, like they're not Instagram. A lot of them don't even have an Instagram. Okay. That's not the make or break. Okay. It's not even close to make or break. You can have the Instagram for fun, brandability, and things like that, et cetera, et cetera. Right. Keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. And Jonathan, we got you on a one-on-one. Just check your WhatsApp. We'll get you private back and forth scaling support for yourself. Ron, just take care of it in WhatsApp. Well, here's the thing, Jordan. You have to have a Facebook page, right? And when you're on a Facebook page on Facebook, it's a lot more natural looking. And typically, you're going to dress the Facebook page up with like philanthropy or things that are kind of similar to what you're selling. I don't ever launch like a blank page. I'll put like 3 to 5, 6 posts on there, right, to at least populate it. What you'll also have me doing sometimes, and this is after I'm doing like a few $1,000s a day, then I'll run a like ad campaign to it just to bump the likes on the page. But the likes on the page really don't have much of a difference. Don't make much of a difference with conversion. Instagram will, because Instagram people are more like follower driven in terms of the aesthetic and looking at it in terms of like social proof. Not so much in the Facebook page. So you can put 3 to 5 posts on there, but in reality, I'm not going to sit here and say, oh yeah, do a like campaign on your Facebook page, because in reality, it doesn't matter that much on the Facebook page if there's likes there or not. But one thing, what I did, and Ron, on the shapewear brand, remember I ran like the like campaign, right, to like the main ad, like because we're launching so many different ads, like I kind of stopped doing that, and like we're launching so many different ads anyway, where like the one ad that's doing really really well now, right, I'm not going to really waste my time these days is running a page like campaign to it like I used to, right? It was kind of just my OCD getting to me, which is why I used to do it, right? Because I just want to see a ton of likes on there, but in reality, it doesn't matter that much, right? But you could do it in theory. Very good. Yeah, that's fine, Scott. And here's the thing. I don't care if you got like, even if you have a great following on the Instagram, you could use the Instagram. But in reality, now you just have a hole in the funnel. Because now someone's going to click your Instagram and then start looking at your feed and forgot they're even purchasing. Right? Just keep it the Facebook page. Okay. Instagram profile is your Facebook page. Don't overcomplicate it. Do this on every brand, even the ones that we have doing really good numbers. Like it's still using the Facebook page. Don't even have an Instagram for most of them. Okay. Now, you see this? Your ad can appear with others in the same ad unit, okay, to help promote discoverability. Basically, what that means is we're going to put your ad next to other people who are selling a similar product, and it's going to make your ad look less good, and you're going to convert less. You want it on? No. I used to like not give a shit about this, but I started always putting it off, right? And I see far, from what I can see, whether it's fluke or not, far better results when I'm not putting my ad directly next to another ad in a split second, right? So turn this off, right? You want as least competition as possible. And especially with the CPMs we're paying these days, I ain't paying my CPM to just be next to the other guy, right? No, don't want this on, off. Okay. Now, with it being said, you're going to see all of the different, AI things that are when you upload your video, right? Yada, yada. You're going to have all these AI things turn on, et cetera, et cetera. And guys, it's going to automatically turn them on. It's going to automatically turn them on. And regardless, we're going to be in here with you launching it anyway. So we're going to walk you through it. But just for your own personal knowledge, all this shit, you want it all off. And half the time, when you go to it and then you duplicate it, it's going to turn it on again, even though I duplicated the one that had it off. Okay, you could turn them off in settings, etc., and things like that. But in reality, the short fix here is just every time that you're in ad level, just do a little triple check. Like, is all this crap off, right? Because Facebook, want to know why Facebook automatically forces it on? Because there's going to be people who are new, who don't know what's going on, that leave it on. And then guess what? Facebook now gets to split test data, right? On your dime, not on our watch, okay? Turn all of it off. All the AI enhancements are off. None of it is good. It's all crap, right? And I know that sounds good. Justin, what do you mean? It's Facebook. There's like, it's all crap. No, none of it. None of it is good. None of it. Okay? And we're just going to turn it off. Okay? I love Facebook, and it's made my businesses and companies have been very somewhat successful. But I'm telling you, like, I have a vendetta with this platform for all the. You know how many times I've been up till 5 o'clock in the morning on a project that should have been done at midnight, but then I click one wrong button and I delete 3 campaigns at once, and in those 3 campaigns were like so many different things on the inside. More times than I can literally count. That is like. And I'll flip out. I'll be doing it from my laptop in bed. And I'm like, I'm gonna flip out. My Maggie's like, what happened? But I'll wake up like, no, the Facebook just deleted everything. Like, happens to me a lot, right? Not as much as it used to, but it still does happen. So that's why I'm saying, take your time and like look through every little thing, because that AI thing that you thought you just turned off 5 seconds ago, you did. Facebook just turned it back on though. Okay. So like always triple check. Okay. It is annoying, but like I said, this platform is life. This platform is life. Okay. And like, I don't even feel that as being an exaggeration when I say that. This platform has everything in its power to be life. Okay. Now, with that being said, let's talk about duplicating more ad sets for more creatives. And Ryan, hold your horses, Ryan, hold your horses before you do that. I don't want you doing it in anything that's performing, right? Only do it in campaigns that are next, that you're launching next. Don't just go in there and turn it off, right? If it's doing good, do it next on your next launch. Don't just remember, guys, don't just change things to change things, especially if it's doing well. Okay. No, and yours is right. So please don't do that yet. We're going to do that in your next duplications. Okay. All right, now guys, listen to this. Yeah, and right, if you went through my ad account, you see the same thing. 70% is off, 30% is on. That's because sometimes I'm guilty. I rush through it and I miss it. And then I'm looking at it later. I'm like, oh, can't stand Facebook, but I'm not going to sit there and turn it off because it's doing good, you know? Okay, now guys, let's talk about duplications, okay? So I want to share with this to you guys something that you may not have known, okay? So let's say, I just for example purposes to share with you guys the nuances, we're going to get back to like adding the creatives here in a second. But let's say you're launching another campaign. Let's say, okay, you just wanted to launch with the CBO, or okay, you wanted to launch with the algorithmic. Both are totally fine. And whether you do just algo or just CBO, both are pretty much the same thing, right? And you're going to be getting very similar cost per acquisition, right? The only difference is a lot of the time in algorithmic, you'll get better, cheaper cost per acquisition because you're doing it on like a per audience and creative basis, and you can start to see which audience is performing well. But a lot of the time I'll launch with CBO and algo, or just with CBO. Okay, you have multiple options here. Okay, you got algo and CBO, you got just CBO. Okay, but let's say, hey, all right, we just launched this. My CBO is doing really good, right? And I want to go ahead and launch my algorithmic too. as well, because I started off a little bit gun shy, but now I see it's performing. I'm selling. I want to go ahead and now launch algo too. What I want you to understand is you could go ahead and create a new campaign and just click create, yada, yada, do it. Or when you click duplicate on a campaign that's already doing well, you're actually taking the underlying data from that campaign or even from that ad set and you're utilizing it again. That's how Facebook works. So it's not just like, hey, I'm doing it just to be quicker. You're literally taking a lot of the data that's already inside of this, and Facebook keeps it into account when you're duplicating into the next actual campaign. It's not that it's the exact same data. It's not optimized as much as like the campaign that we're duplicating from currently is, but it's taking into account what has went on inside of that campaign, right, for your new. So what I would do, what you can do is you could duplicate a campaign over and then swap all the settings and just make it algo, or you could just create new, right? But typically, if I have a high performing campaign, I want to duplicate from the source of what's performing well and then use that as my shell, right, to go ahead and build my new campaign or my ad set in. Okay. And let me know if that makes sense. Give me one down below if that makes sense to you, right? To where, I'm not just going to click create for the hell of it. I'm just going to duplicate from my already successful campaign and then in CBO number one, duplicate, right? So I'll go like this. I'll obviously keep this on, duplicate. What I'll do, where it's like, okay, I have my duplicate here, my copy here. Now I want to go through and edit the whole interior and make it into an algo campaign and then just change this to, okay? And then this was built from the foundation of this. And yes, sometimes when you duplicate a campaign, there won't be the ability to go ahead and change certain settings if you're doing something convoluted, right? And if that's the case, that's the case. But in most cases, you can change most of it. Okay, so that's how I'm going about creating new campaigns. I'm basing it off of the other successful campaigns in my account. Okay, in my account. And that is typically how I like to do duplicates. Okay, now keep that in mind. Now, with that being said, oops, I'm just going to delete this. Oops. Okay, let's go ahead. So for example, look how quick we're going to do. We're going to go in here, pop down to here, $50 a day. Very good. We don't change anything else. Perfect. Let's go on ad set level. Okay. Nope, we do not want that. What do we want? Nope, we don't want that. We need website. Perfect. Now, what do we want? Conversion event. We want purchase. Very good. Go down here, change this to 12 o'clock, midnight. Always do AM. I've done PM enough times, right? Nope, we're not clicking this. We're going in here. We're adding, our other 3 countries. Very good. Okay, very nice. Now we're going in here. Oops, what we got going on? Come on, Facebook. Okay, Core 4 is done. Perfecto. Come down here, show more controls. Give me that minimum 22, right? Where's it at? Minimum 22, very good. Yes, we can also hit show more settings on here and make perfect. It resembles the same thing. Awesome, right? And we are not further limiting the reach of our ads. Advantage plus on, perfect. Come down here, nothing else. Bada bing, bada boom, right? Very nice. Right now, what we want to go ahead and do is we're going to say, like, okay, this is our first campaign. It's been running for 3 days. It's doing well. Now, actually, no, it's been running for 1 day. It's doing well. Got me good ROAS. I want to add more creatives in because Justin always preaches the 10th. Yep, absolutely, Scott. I am recording, guys, right? Yep, I am recording. My heart dropped whenever I think I didn't record. Yes, I will toss this in university. We also have brand new material as well. Ron was kind enough to put together all the individual walkthroughs, campaign setup, and everything. And that's now new material in university as of like the last 7 to 10 days, which is awesome. And we'll also put this one in there too, Ron. So Ron, if you could just take a note, we'll also put this in there too. Okay. All right. So what we're doing here, guys. So as we know, when we launch, it's okay if you do just 5 or 10 creatives. But if you want to be over the top and go crazy like I like to do, I'm going to do 10 to 15 a day, even in the testing of a product. Even if I don't know it's a winner yet, I'm still going to adopt that same kind of 10 to 15 creative strategy now at this point, right? Why? Because Justin, why would you do that if you don't know it's a winner? Because I want to find out. I'm going to find out if it's a winner or not. Okay, this is my first product test, and I'm not expecting it to be, but as I go through every single one, I want to give myself as big of a chance as I can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is like we have an ad set level here, we have our 10 to 15 creatives in here, right in here, then an ad level, there's our 15 creatives. I'm like, okay, I sourced 10 to 15 more. What I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this ad set, okay, duplicate it over in the same campaign, change this to creative ad set 2, and then literally go in ad set level, turn off, delete and turn off all the original creatives, and then only have the 10 to 15 new ones in my ad level. Now I'm going to have 10 to 15 of the original ones, 10 to 15 of the new ones, and I'm doing this every single solitary day. Okay, and on a 5 to 7 day window, I'm turning off the ads. Let's say creative ad set 2 sucks, right? And I'm 5 days into it, and like it sucks, right? And the CPA is super high, and it's terrible. But my creative ad set 1's still carrying and doing really good. I'm just going to go ahead and turn this off. Done. Turn off. The reason I like to do it in this way is because you can now you can start putting all these different creatives, guys, in different ad set level. And you could literally start individually scaling or killing creative cohorts without messing with the whole damn thing in general. This is how you keep it scaling without messing with it as much. Okay? Touching anything in here is still going to put a little zap into it, right? But typically, the one little zap into it and adjustment we're making is worth it comparative to adding 10 to 15 creatives a day. That's a much bigger positive change. Okay? So note that you'll catch me doing 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, every damn day. And on day 5 to 7, I'm turning off these particular creative cohorts. And now, if I look at this creative, and like I said, the CPA is super high. This one sucks. What I'm going to do is before I turn it off, and everyone listen, before I turn it off, I'm going to now go into ad level. All right, I got these 15 ads in here, right? Oh, shit, would you look at that? 90% of the spend is going toward this one creative that's doing poorly. But this other creative I have active and live in here is doing really well. It just hasn't gotten much spend. I guess Facebook maybe made a mistake here. Maybe, okay? So what I'm going to do is not turn off that ad set right away. I'm going to go into ad level, turn off that one ad that has all the high CPA, and then what it's going to do is going to force the spend into the next highest performer, which is probably the one that has the good cost per acquisition and the lower spend. Okay. And then what's going to possibly happen over the next 3 to 5 days is you're going to notice, holy shit, that was it. That was it. I just had to turn off that one creative to stop the clogging of the spend. And now this ad set's doing good as well. And now what I have is I have 2 ad sets that are carrying my spend, 2 creative sets that are carrying my spend, not just one. And what that does is it gives me more longevity. It gives me more longevity. Okay, and that's what I want us to realize. Fun fact and stat for you guys: 70, and this is directly from Facebook, 70 to 80% of the volatility that you experience in your Facebook ads and your Instagram ads, 70 to 80% is based off of creative and creative upload volume. Not your budget, not your targeting, none of that. Literally because of creative. Okay? So that's why I like to do this, because it gives me more control of my campaign and I'm not tinkering with it too aggressively. Okay? If that makes sense, you guys can see why we're doing the different creative ad sets and cohorts for every new creative set we upload. Give me a 1 below. Give me a 1 below if that makes sense, guys. It gives us the ability to be diverse, to upload new creatives, to not mess with creative 1 that's absolutely crushing, right? And it also allows me to turn off creative ad set 2 if it's absolutely performing like shit. But before I ever turn it off, I'm going into ad level, and I'm like, oh, I just found the problem. All the spend's going into this ad. This one clearly sucks, right? This one that's on clearly sucks. And this one here, it's freaking way below my cost per acquisition, just getting no spend. No wonder the ad set looks like it sucks, because Facebook isn't doing a good job on this one creative ad set funneling my spend to the performing ad. And that is how it works. And we do that on a 5 to 7 day window. Why don't we do that every day? Because I don't want you turning off and turning on things every single day like that in most cases. Remember, there will be times where I tell you something, okay, where it's different from what I just said. So sometimes I will tell you to adjust things on a daily basis in your scenario, but don't think in blankets, okay? There's a lot of nuances in all of this, okay? Very good, guys. Very good. All right. Give me 1 second. I'm just going to blow my nose. I'm sorry. I'm starting sweating. I saved you guys the audio on that one. Yeah. All right. I need to do like a Wim Hof. All right. And guys, like what as you guys will see, because I'm doing like this, I have like a podcast room in my house. You guys are gonna start seeing me like long form content, like I do on Mastermind. I'm that type of person where like I literally need to like take a deep breath, like because I'll get like so energetic and so into it, and that's like within life as well. Like I'll be like catching a fish, right? And I'll get something like and I'll do what I call an 8 breath Wim Hof. So if any of you guys know what Wim Hof is, look it up. Okay, and then condense it into an 8 breath Wim Hof, like basically one round, but eight breaths. Any of you guys that have like you're very high energy, like very, very like high strung nervous system, whatever, like look into doing that, right? Because that, as you guys know, I blink and all this stuff. I have like tics sometimes. The reason I have that is because like I've always had this stuff my whole life. My neurology in my brain like fires in a weird way where it makes me like extremely energetic and always. So if you're someone like that or you have that going on, that Wim Hof, I'm telling you guys, like it will put me in a different state. I will feel like, wow, like that really, really helps. So if anyone has anything similar, then you don't. I know it's weird, but that will help you. So I appreciate that. I appreciate that, Jordan. and let me get to these questions. Your son goes, what would be the good CPA? Well, the good CPA is the CPA that's below your cost per acquisition. But let me answer that question for you as I go to this. As I go to our next topic. Perfect transition. So your son goes, what would be a good CPA? And typically, guys, a good CPA would, and I'm not talking certified public accountant. I'm talking about cost per acquisition. Okay. Cost per acquisition is how much you're paying to acquire a customer. Okay. And typically a good CPA is going to be below your break-even cost per purchase on a single unit. But technically that's not the case because I want to walk you guys through and you guys already know what I'm about to say. We use our Kaching Bundle Starbucks pricing model. We're intentionally making less per unit but more per customer to increase our AOV and our cash flow, as well as our take-home profit. Okay. So typically a good CPA is below your single unit cost per acquisition, but it's also below your average order value, right? Your basic cost, your break-even cost on your AOV, which is typically going to be your buy two, get one bundle option. Okay. So that's the answer to your question, your son. Okay, and I'm going to get back to this here in a second after I answer the rest of our questions. As Jordan goes, so 5 to 7 windows typically after any tweak. So Jordan, it's not after any tweak. It's after uploading creatives. You will now on a rolling basis, because every day you're going to have another creative ad set that hits the 5th day, that hits the 7 days. And it's okay to make those adjustments on them. But the rest of the campaign, et cetera, is not going to be getting touched, right? So if every day you're launching a new creative ad set, right, you're going to have another one that hits the 5th day every day that goes by, right? You can, right, either wait every 5 to 7 days to make adjustments and do it in one shot, or you could do it in an ongoing manner where anything that hits the 5 to 7 day can then be adjusted. And I want to give you guys some nuances here so you understand the differences. So typically, whenever Ron and I upload new creative, like into another ad set, our campaigns typically right now like it, right? And that's why I always will tell Ron, I'm like, yo, Ron, like our campaigns love input. They love input, right? But sometimes if I'm in like a cost cap campaign, it doesn't love input that much, right? So there's nuances for it. So keep that in mind, Jordan. That's how you would typically go about it. So it's essentially like as you upload new creative ad sets in here every day, like if you're doing it every day, you're going to have new cohorts that hit the 5th day, and it might be doing okay. You could give it another 2 days to the 7th day, right? Where you could be aggressive at turning it off, or you could do it all in a 5 to 7 day window and do it all in one shot, right? Typically, what we like to do is as something hits the 5th to 7th day, we'll decide if we want to turn it off or not based on the results, right? But what we notice is when we're uploading new creative, right, consistently every day, our ad account really does like that, right, in a very, very, very consistent way. Okay. Very good. Okay. I appreciate that, guy. I do sawdust steam room cold every day, and it really is nice. But sometimes sometimes you get into it. Don't you when sometimes you have a mastermind, guys, you just get super excited. You get rocking and rolling, right? All right, very good. Now, my pleasure, Yasan. Okay, so now back to Kaching bundles. So the reason we use Kaching bundles is because it's the best app to do this. Okay, it doesn't really matter what you use, but just use Kaching bundles. Okay, it's the best one to do this. Okay. What I want you to understand is most of the people in e-commerce that we are competing with, guys, they are just trying to sell one unit. Most people, but they don't know about how to do bundles or how to price it, right? So they're doing one unit. Why can't I scale? I want to sell one unit. Why can't I do it? Well, it's because you're being smoked by a guy who's selling something similar, but with bundles, and he can spend more because he's making more per customer. When we have our bundles, guys, we have buy one, we have buy two, get one, we have buy three, get two. Okay. So you have buy one, you get three, or you get five. Okay. That is the winning setup right now. Tested every other, that is the winning setup. Okay. Jordan, what I'll do, I'll walk you through privately in WhatsApp. So Ron, if you could hit up Jordan in WhatsApp on the side, we'll walk you through that privately, Jordan, so you understand that piece. Okay. So, and just walk him through it, Ron, till he gets it. Okay, so for the Kaching bundles pricing model, right? What you want to understand is you have buy one, buy two, get one, and then buy three, get two. So you have buy one, buy three, and then buy five, right? And the difference here, guys, right, is when you are trying to sell your products, you're typically pricing it as low as you possibly can to start, right? And this is the same with your bundles as well. Okay, you want to have your bundles priced aggressively as well as your single unit items priced aggressively at start, right? Because you want to bring in as many sales as you possibly can to begin with. Jordan, my pleasure, man. I got you. You want to have as much particular low pricing as you can while staying within the confines of the pricing rules. So typically you want to disincentivize the pricing of one unit, right? When I say disincentivize the pricing of one unit, in my case, I'll charge $39.95 to buy one, but I'll charge $84.95 to get three. And I'll charge $104.95 to get five. Okay. And this works, right? Because you're intentionally making less per unit, but you're making more per customer. Okay. And this is how we're getting our average order value above $50 to $60. Okay. And what you want to understand here is I'd rather do that, right? Because instead of paying the cost per acquisition to acquire a customer who just buys my single unit, right? You now have a little bit more room to spend with someone who will now buy the buy two, get one. But here's the real kicker. When you price it like this and you make it blatantly obvious that the buy one is priced a little higher, right? That it just obviously makes sense to buy to get the buy two, get one, the buy three, get two. You're going to be now paying acquisition costs on getting people who would have normally just bought a one unit for $39.95 to now buy an $84.95 sale product, right? your bundle. So you're paying the cost per acquisition of one person buying $39.95, but they're actually now buying the particular bundle. That's how you're forcing your average order value up. That's how you're forcing it. Okay. And this is one of the most important things. I need all of us to make sure that we all have the Kaching bundles pricing set up going, and that you're having bundles. Give me a 1 down below if this makes sense, that you understand that you need bundles. You will not just sell one product only. You need bundles, okay? Especially with CPMs, etc. That's how you're gonna maintain your scaling, okay? That's how you're gonna do it, right? I want you all of us give one if it makes sense. Very, very good, okay? And the difference here is you're making less per unit, yes, but you're making more now on that one sale, right? Dollar in your pocket, right? And that's exactly how it works. And you have to make sure your pricing is lined up accordingly, right? And regardless, at first, I still want you set up to where your buy one, your buy two, get one, your buy three, get two are still priced as aggressively as humanly possible, just to be low cost out the gate, just to start getting sales going and data going when you're first launching a product, okay? But as you start to see, okay, one of the things that I've done that completely changed the game and really increased my profit, right, is that I would add $5 in cost, right, continually until I saw a drop in conversion rate, right? And I think we got to like 2 or 3 bumps, right, of $4.95, $4.95, $4.95. It's almost like $15 in added cost before we saw a drop in conversion, right? So now what that means is when you start adding on $5, etc., right, and you're not seeing conversion rate drop, you're now making $5 more on every single sale, which means you can now pay $5 more to acquire that customer and still maintain proper margin, right? And that puts you in a really good spot, right? So that's, why I love this, because most people, like 70% of people will opt for the bundle, right? When you have it set up in that way and you start scaling, right? And it's going to really help your cash flow, right? Which really, really, really is important, okay? Now, let's talk about our desired KPIs and why we desire to have these KPIs, right? Because this goes hand in hand with Kaching bundles, right? Because I was talking to a friend, and the friend's like, Justin, it's actually like she's crushing it on Amazon, right? And she wants to bring it over to Shopify. And I'm like, what's your unit cost? She goes, it's like $20. I'm like, oh, well, you're not gonna. I did not want you launching on cold at $20, right? With Facebook ads, right? What you need to do is you need to bundle it, right? And she goes, huh? What do you mean? Well, when you bundle it, because you have to pay Facebook acquisition costs and everything, how do you expect to be profitable with like $20 retail cost, right? She goes, well, I'm like, what if you had a bundle in which you could charge, $50 for, because her cost isn't that much, but you still have to pay acquisition cost to Facebook, right? So she could charge aggressively like $50, whatever, $60 for her bundle, $80 plus for her bundle, right? For her 5 or her 3 unit, right? And now she just turned her single unit item that was a lower scale product with a lower pricing capability into a bundle ecosystem in which the single unit product is just there to really disincentivize the purchase of one unit and push it toward buying the bundle, right? And what that is doing, guys, is just allowing us to create more money and profit out of a scenario that should have had less, right? And that's exactly what that's doing in that scenario as well. It's taking a product that's lower cost and allowing it to operate and to scale with paid ads, right? And that is exactly how it works. Now, for desired KPIs specifically, what are we talking about? So our product is a Trojan horse, guys. Whatever product that we have or choose, it's just a Trojan horse to get us within certain metrics. Conversion rate is 1.8% or higher, right? And typically that's what people consider good. We're always hitting like 3 to 6%, right? Even on loser products, because our landing pages are built out nicely, right? So 1.8% or higher. You have a $50 or higher average order value. I typically like 60 or higher, but 50 is acceptable, right? How are we gonna get the AOV there? Through our bundling, right? Through our upsells, etc. Okay, that we already have set up. 100% of us already have our upsell sequence set up, and we already know my one-click upsell sequence converts at like 20 to 30%, even on loser products, right? That's how you know it's just built in and does very well, right? And you have to realize that I don't ever want you launching anything without the upsells built in, right? Because the combination of your Starbucks bundle pricing model, increasing your cash flow per unit and your average order value, plus the actual upsell, is just setting you up to beat out your competition. And then you start building an SMS and email list, and you're hitting 20 to 30% of your revenue through email and SMS, and no one could touch you, right? You could just keep scaling, controlled, of course, but you could just be very free. That's why all these things are important. The ka-ching bundles, right? Your average order value, your upsell sequencing, etc., your email and SMS opt-in rate. That should be between 12 to 13% on your pop-up that comes up within about 60 seconds, right? You want to have a 12 to 13% opt-in rate on your email and SMS, right? And then you want to have 20 to 30% of your revenue as you're scaling, not right away, as you're scaling, hit 20 to 30%, right? And Jordan, I would say typically at like, $300 to $500 a day consistently, where you're consistently hitting that at like a consistent ROAS, that's when you could start to introduce sending out emails, right? And really, contributing heavily toward emails. And what's cool, guys, is at that stage, email really holds up your profit, right? This is what's going to be really holding up your margin really, really nicely. And the thing is, this is consistent. This is consistent. It's not like fluke. It's consistent almost always. So when you reach like, $200, $300, $400, $500 a day consistently, minimum, right? Now, I've had people not even implement this until later on, but frankly, like, around $200 to $500 a day, you should be dancing with it, right? It's going to prop up your margin that much more, right? Because on low revenue days, guys, even a few extra sales that you didn't have to pay for because they were already on your email and SMS list, right? They can bump your budget by like a solid 5, 10% if or more, right? So keep that in mind, especially when you're operating at low spend. Okay. Very good. Very nice. Perfect. Yep. Thank you, Ron. That's perfect. Thank you, sir. Great stuff, you saw. Very good. Okay. So yeah, and guys, these points, like the reason they're called keynotes, because like we could go blue in the face about talking about all the intricates, or we could talk about the most important things that drive 95% of the results, right? And that's what you want to do. Okay. Now, you want to stay in line with these KPIs, right? Because if you do, like I said, it's like a guitar, right? You get it, sounds like shit, then you tune it in, right? But you got to know what you're looking for. You got to know what you're listening for. Okay. Then 10 to 15 creatives a day, how and why, plus Facebook statistics. So 10 to 15 creatives a day. Let's talk about how first. We're using Cal data and PPIs, right? You literally don't need to spend any money typically on creatives out the gate until you're reiterating or until you're making new concepts and you're not editing it yourself. But at first, you could source 10 to 15 creatives a day, right? From content that's already available online and get yourself off the ground with it to a few K a day, right? Or a few $100 a day. And then you can start investing into your own content. Okay. But the reason that we do this out the gate is because it exists, right? Most products are going to have content available for you. Right. And it's a really cost-effective way to do it for literal free. Right. That's why I love PPIs and Cal data so much, because you could get any product off the ground pretty damn quickly. Right. And then what happens, right, as you start growing and scaling, you start investing into your own influencer content, your own UGC, your own homemade kind of shots that you can make and kind of combine with the UGC that's available to you, or the ones that you've received, influencer, creative, etc. Right. You get a lot more diverse as you start scaling, but at first you don't have many options. Right? You don't have many options with creative, right? And the how, again, is you're utilizing Cal data and PP ads, and it's giving it to you. And with one button, you can download it. Okay, and again, it gives you direction and gets you on the board. Okay, which is great. And then you start, reiterating, recreating, etc., putting a bit more focus, time, energy into making your own creatives. Okay, and the reason why is because Facebook absolutely loves this, okay? Facebook absolutely loves this, okay? And you want to realize the reason that you hear me and Ron say, hey, 10, 15 creatives, hey, 10, we didn't just make that up. That's what's doing well on not only our internal brands over and over and over again compared to our control variables that we've had. We've had a lot of control variables, but it's what's performing across our students the best as well, right? And here's the thing. I really wanted it to just be 5 creatives every 3 days. I really wanted it to be, because it's less money out of my pocket. I don't have to pay these people hourly, right? But it can't be like that, because at 10 to 15 a day it just performs so much better, right? It's not like, I want to make it hard for us. I want to make it difficult. I want to make it annoying for you. No, it's not the case. The opposite, actually. This is just what freaking works, right? That's just what particularly works, right? Now, Jordan goes, how picky are you with downloading your PP ads? Do you just download all of them, or only the ones with a certain amount of impressions? Great question. So it's a mix, Jordan. So typically I am almost always prioritizing the ones that have the most impressions. Like I'm making sure those are included into my 10 to 15. But more times than not, there's a no-name new creative that you would look at it and not even think it's a winning creative. You might skip it. That ends up doing well. So don't make it so all of your creatives are just based off the ones with the highest performance. You could make 7 to 10 of them based off those, but the additional 5 or 6 or 7, right, should be ones that ultimately you go through and you know your market, you know your avatar, ones that you have a hunch that might be good. And keep in mind, ugly ads work. Ugly ads convert and ugly ads work. So you don't want to just choose, oh, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. Great. No, obviously it has to be like, for the most part, like, visible, etc. But you want to prioritize the one with the most engagement, maybe 7 to 10 of them, and the remainder you can, basically cherry pick ones that you believe are going to do well based off your know-how in your market. And very good. Patrick goes, will it still work with less ads or will? No. And I'm happy. That's a good question. So it's not saying, guys, you cannot make it work with less creatives. Not the case. You can. I have. We do currently, right? But when there's a 10 to 15 available, you use it. You use it to your advantage, right? You use it. So if you have 10 to 15 available to you at launch and you're not using it, why? Right? You use it, but you can absolutely do better. You could still do very, very well with not having the 10 to 15. But let me tell you, it's a massive advantage as you're growing and scaling when you have the 10 to 15. And then Jordan goes, so do you kind of want to mix back? Yes, absolutely, Jordan. And also, that is perfectly going to my next point. Okay. So Jordan goes, so you kind of want to mix bag in every batch of uploads? Absolutely, bro. And here's the difference, Jordan. So it's not like, so at first, in my next upload, so for example, let's say we are in our ad account, we have creative ad set 2, and we saw let's say we saw the ones that performed in here. What I'm going to do before I start finding creative and making and uploading the creative ad set 3, what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook stack. Can anyone remind me what hook stacking is down below? Anyone remember? It's a new name that I just gave it to have us remember. But anyone remember what I'm doing after every winning ad that I'm finding? What am I doing after I find a winning ad? Am I just like, oh, cool, new winning ad, great? Or am I using some of the data to my advantage to find more, right? Yes. Yes, Jordan. And also this. So what I'm doing here, guys, let's say creative ad set 1 had ad 2 do well, and then creative ad set 2 had ad 3 do well. And that's it. That's all the ads we had. 30 ads, Justin? You had 30 ads uploaded, only 2 are good performers? You bet your bottom dollar. And frankly, it's usually after every 50 I upload do I find like 1 to 3, right? That is how it works. That is the game, okay? What I'm doing, so let's say ad set 1, for example, oh, creative 2 is doing well, and then in here, creative 3 is doing well. What I'm going to do is I'm going to watch creative 2 and I'm going to watch creative 3. And I'm going to watch the first hook of both of them. Why were these ads high performers? Why did these do very well? Did these have specific hooks that made them perform well? If so, I'm going to look at it. I'm going to make a list of every single solitary thing I think that contributed toward this ad doing well. For the hook, for the body, and for the tail. I'm going to watch the whole thing. I'm also going to look at the body. What about this body made it so people watched through the whole ad and actually clicked on my ad? Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the tail end and I'll be like, what made it so this person actually clicked the ad and call to active when I said to shop now? What is it? I'm going to write down every single, we don't really know. Okay, so I'm going to write down every single reason that might have contributed toward that ad becoming a winner. Now for every ad, I literally have a grocery list of things that I'm going to include in my next ads. So by the time that you're creating your own ads and you're reiterating, etc., that's called hook stacking. We are literally compounding and refining the control variable to be even better after every time that we upload a new one. Okay, and that's what hook stacking is. You're literally finding, right, from at first what you think are the best performing creatives, right? Now you have real data and you're taking those data points to help recreate or reiterate new concepts and new iterations of what it's already done well with all these additional points. And that's how you could constantly get better and better performing ads over time, right? And get better and better results over time, right? You still have to test the same volume. It's not because you're doing that like you're going to find winners quicker. No, unfortunately, you still got to do the same 10 to 15 bullshit, right? But that's what you want to do. Okay, that's what you want to do, and that's how you make your creatives get better cost per acquisition at higher scale. Okay, by having better ads, and that's how we do it. And then Fletcher goes with PP ads. When they say the competitor's brand name mid video, do we cut it or do we keep it in or put our own brand name over it? In a perfect world, Fletch, I want it gone. But frankly, you could launch it with that in there and it will still sell. Done it many times, right? But in a perfect world, I don't want it in there, But sometimes I'm lazy, and if I'm looking at it, I'm like, nah, you can barely even see it. I'll upload it for the testing phase, right? And the moment I see that ad's doing well, then I'll reiterate on it. Okay. So realize, like, yeah, even if you had that, it's not going to really make all the difference in the world. But in the perfect world, yeah, I don't want it there. Okay. My pleasure, Pat. Very good. He goes, is it a good idea to get micro influencers to create creatives and use their? Absolutely, it is a good idea to get micro influencers to create creatives and use their creative in your ads. But here's my point with that. When you have a new product that you have not scaled yet, or you don't know if it's a winner, and you're just testing waters, you want to be very cautious about spending a lot of money on influencers. You're not going to see me spending money on influencers until I create or find content that's already doing well, and then I have reason to believe this concept's doing good. Then I take what's doing good and I have the influencers start to recreate that because I know my money's not going to waste, right? Same thing here. And we help with that. Right. And the difference really is, like, for example, on the shapewear brand, like I said, I got the thing as 7K a day just using ads I found on CalData and PPS. Okay. And then once you start reiterating and creating your own, you already have all the reasons why, right, the ad's done well, plus the example of how the ad, as to which ad did well as well. So now you're recreating new ad with new content and the same concept that's already worked, except it's all the hook stacks are now included. So that's a very good way to do it as well. So yes, you just want to be very sparing at first because you want to test the waters, because you don't want to just like shoot by the hip at first. You want to kind of keep like a very steady fire leak, and then you would ultimately see, okay, this is what's doing well, and then you would get influencers in that direction. That's exactly correct, Jordan. Different iterations of the same. Yes, as well. You can use the same damn, literally you can use two things. You guys can use the same body, just flop the hook, right? Or vice versa, right? Test it all. Like all of it, like that's the thing. Like you do not know. You can have a hunch, right? Based off of your previous data, which is why we do the hook stacking, which is why we use it. But that's why we're testing so aggressively, because you do not know. You have to prove it. Okay. That's correct, Fletch. And most low impression videos are not an indication of good or bad. It is as good or bad of the account itself. And this low impression ad or video with seasoned ad account, it may generate money for your own account. 100%. And guys, a lot of the time when you're looking on PP ads and CalData, it's pulling it from TikTok, right? So these are not even ever, these creatives have never even been on Facebook before, a lot of them, right? So when you're pulling and utilizing what's crushing on TikTok and putting it on Facebook, even if it had low impressions on TikTok or wherever, you can start to see it milk right away. And I've seen that very, very many times, right? To where this ad that has no impressions but looks pretty damn good, I bring it over to Facebook and it looks like I'm one of the first people ever to bring it over, right? And I can usually get a lot of spend behind those ads, right? So keep that in mind. Now, with PP ads and CalData, right? This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is how you source creatives and launch for free, right? And look, you still will get editors or or yourself edit the reiterations and the new hooks, etc., whatever. But you can get it off the ground just with PP ads and CalData for free, and especially when you pair it with all the markets I gave us, guys, on one of our last sessions right here. You pair it with these markets, right? Like guys, to build brands, like not even the new one that we're about to launch in a few days, including the one that we're about to hit the shop, we're about to hit past 10,000 orders on that. We're gonna get the Shopify word for that one. They're all markets I've directly pulled literally from these only. These are the only markets I like to build in. Why? Because I've seen enough to know that I don't even need to venture elsewhere. Okay. And that's why I give these to us as well. When you have the markets, guys, then I'm giving you the markets and I'm telling you where I'm pulling my creative from. You could do exactly what I'm doing. You just type in what I've given you, use Cal data and PPI, and then you get the 10 to 15 creative. I'm telling you, getting to 5K a day is a lot easier than you think. Okay, because when you have the markets given to you, and then you have the literal source as to where I'm getting them, right? It's still a bitch. It's still a bitch to get there. Don't get me wrong. Okay, but it's a lot easier, right? And that's the thing. When you pair where I'm getting the creatives with the markets, I mean, it's like, you know, leading a horse to water, right? It's like here's the fishing pole, here's the bait, there's the pond. Like just cast it out for me, right? Type thing. And you might have to cast 10 times, and Bob might catch a fish on his second cast. And then Sally's over there on her 15th cast. We don't know what's going on with Sally. She's gonna maybe have a little bit different flick of the wrist, right? But same concept there, right? We're just applying where we're getting the creatives, okay, to what markets we're going in. Okay. And it's a beautiful thing to have when you have the markets given to you, and then you also have the place in which we're sourcing the creatives for free. And guys, the elephant in the room is like, oh, Justin, isn't that yeah, it is. And you could get it, you could launch it for free, right? And get off the ground without having to spend money on it, right? A lot of other people, they don't love that, and they'll rather go ahead and just create their own content at first, take longer, spend a little bit more, totally fine. But if you're looking for speed and low cost to market, this is your answer. Okay. Now, let's talk about 20% creative uploads. Okay. I mean, 20% scaling uploads, right? So for example, let's say this campaign is performing well and it does good. And I don't like to scale from 50 until it's profitable, showing signs of profit, or doing really well, whatever, right? 20% up from 50 is only $10 added on. So I'm not going to go like, I'm not going to add $150 right away. I'm going to go to 60. Okay. I'm going to go to 60. Okay. And then I'm going to go 20% of 60, and then I'll keep going. I used to do 60, 120, 240, 480. I used to double a lot because I busted my ass for 15 years. I got change in the bank, and I could go ahead and be effing aggressive. Doesn't matter how much change you have in the effing bank. I don't care if you're a billionaire. Don't be an idiot and just waste money. Scale by 20% consistently. I'm seeing that outperform almost everything. Almost everything. Right? 20, because what's happening, I think the actual number is when you go above like a 40 to 50% increase, Facebook treats it as like a complete wipe and reset of optimization completely. When you're doing the 20% increments, it's not really resetting the learning as much, right? So even though, yes, these metrics could be good, this looks well, blah, 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 I'm not doubling right away, because doubling it like that is going to shoot your results downward, and it's going to spend on shit traffic. So continue doing 20% increments. I know it feels slow and you want to make it scale the revenue, but I care more about your ROAS than anything, and it maintaining rather than just like your sales revenue. Okay. So that's what you have to do. 20% sales increments. And yeah, you could do this at midnight. I recommend doing it at midnight. Okay. That's the best way to do it. If you can't do it at midnight for whatever reason, a next best is doing it like a little bit before midnight in the back half of the day. I don't like doing it during the hot hours of like 7 a.m., 9 a.m., or 12 o'clock, or 3 o'clock, or 5 o'clock, or 8 o'clock. I like to do it kind of outside. Look at your Shopify store and look at where the least, you can look for like the last week, last month, look where the least amount of sales come in during that time. And if you can't do it at midnight for whatever reason, then you could get away with doing it there. Okay. Which is what I want you to understand. Okay. Jordan goes, how do you know what component of the ad is actually the part that is making people buy? Hook, body, CTA, etc. Right? Very good question. So you don't know. That's why you stack all the particular reasons, and you hook stack, and you try to work everything into the next creation of the ad. because you're going to make like a steroided version of the previous one. If you're being that detail oriented and pulling apart every reason as to why you think it performed well, write it down and you apply it into your next ads, because you don't know. You want to apply all the reasons that might have contributed toward it. And then what happens is you have this large stack of reasons, and then you start making all the adjustments in your next creation, and you start to see even that creative perform even better, right? And he goes, can you explain how to actually make these new iterations of your winner? Yeah, so you're basically taking the exact same ad, right? And you're either taking a few more of the other creatives that you already have, and you're cutting them and clipping them together, right? There's a lot of different ways that you can do it. You could take the body copy and then put a new hook on there that you think is more aggressive, or you could keep the hook and then put a new body copy on that you think is more aggressive as well. You're cutting, you're clipping. Think of a montage, right? Think of a montage where you just went out throughout the day, right? And you recorded all day long. You're not going to take everything that you recorded that day. You're only going to take the really, really good points that you thought were the best. Same thing in your previous winter creatives. You're going to take them and you're going to start cutting and clipping them up. You could use CapCut. It doesn't really matter what software you use, but CapCut's phenomenal for it. And you can just start cutting them and clipping them up on your freaking iPhone for free, right? And that's what I recommend doing. Or you could get an editor and send them, hey, here's my winning ad. Here's all the hook stack points that I want implemented into this one ad. And here's a bunch of different creative as well that you can use for B-roll in this ad as well. You give them the original ad to base it off of. You give them the entire hook stack, and you give them a whole folder of creatives to go ahead and use for the B-roll as it rolls. And that's exactly how we'll do it and what we'll do. And then we goes also, you're starting the hook stacking process by ad set 3, or do we wait until we're at 5, 6, 7 batch to start doing this? Frankly, you could start after you have one performing well or even decent, right? So when you have one creative doing well, even in the first ad set, Jordan, you could start doing it right there on the first one into your next batch as well. Keep in mind, yes, you have to do it the next day, so you might not have the time to do it, right? So what you want to do is consistently be in the trenches of making these new ads, right? Being in Facebook ads and eCom these days is you have to become a creative engine, and that's a non-negotiable. Amazing questions, Jordan. Very good. Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, if you understand what hook stacking means, give me a one down below. My pleasure. Give me a 1 down below if that makes sense. If you understand what hook stacking means, right? And look, it's annoying, and it's not fun to do this shit. But I'm telling you guys, none of this has ever really been fun. It's fun doing this. I like hopping on these masterminds. This is fun. I like doing this. But honestly, when you're in the ad account, it's not fun. Okay, none of this. I didn't say 10 to 15 creatives for it to be fun and for us to be happy about it. It sucks. You think I'd rather it be 3 to 5 a day too. But it's not. It's just the raw reality. Okay? Now, and like we talk about scaling 20% with creative upload. When we scale by 20%, you best focus on making sure you're also uploading 10 to 15 creatives. If I see that you just scale by 20% and you decided to not upload creatives that day, I'll have to get you on like a private session with Ron and see what the hell's going on, right? Because when you increase the budget, what we need is more creative along with the budget increase. You should never have a real budget increase unless you're also coupling more creative with it. Because literally by adding more budget, you're exhausting creatives quicker. And when you're editing the budget, you're also throwing it off a little bit. So you want to kind of offset it with new creative upload. And like I spoke about, whenever we're uploading new creative, not 100% of the time, but Ron, I would say like 90% of the time that we upload new creative, it like jolts it back into motion and starts performing even better. Just get the campaign like doing really like top notch, right? So even with a 20% creative upload, you want to go ahead and do the 20% increase. I'm sorry, even with the 20% increase, you also want to do the 10 to 15 creative upload. But not always when you do 10 to 15 creatives uploaded, will you increase by 20%. You'll find yourself at 50, still uploading creatives, not touching this budget. Because you still gotta crack the $50 profitability, brother. Right? So like there's no sense in us scaling the budget here because we're still adding a bunch of creatives in here to go ahead and crack campaign-wide profitability. And then once we're there, then we start scaling. Right? But we're gonna keep at that budget until we're at that point, right? And it's a very, very modest budget of $50, right? And that's where I like to be, okay? Now, with that being said, signature collection. Okay, this is actually a really important point that I don't think we talk about enough. So in your store, right, and Lee, this is going to be huge for yourself, right, and a lot of our scaling brands, right? What's going to be important here, guys, is realizing, why we have signature collection, and also, Jordan Well-Load, you need to make sure that you have this, right? Because you're doing very, very, very well. And when you add that, and what's up, Kip? Good to see you, by the way, Kip. When you add this, okay, I'm literally getting purchases for $300 to $500 like sales, and my product is $39.95. Okay, one, that's awesome. Two, it's happening. Why? Because of my Kaching bundle setup. Okay, three, because I'm disincentivizing the single unit purchase. Okay, and four, because I'm giving them the option to go ahead and buy off my signature collection. And the market that I'm in, these women are extremely, extremely, like, they love to buy. And what I'm doing is I'm only marketing my one product. All my ad spend is going about, most of my ad spend, 95% of the ad spend is going to our one product. And then we're bringing in women who absolutely love the item. And by the way, I got custom menu. I totally refined my product to where a competitor doing $1 million a month with it, my product is better than them now, right? And I'm gonna start having I'm gonna show my product compared to their product, and then take that market share, right? But my whole point, signature collection literally allows you to increase your average order value, because people are literally just going to mindlessly add more product to their cart and buy it. Why? It's not just because you added it to your site, but because you went to Callow data, right? And you actually looked at literally the top 15 freaking actual sites, right? For the products on Callow data, the top 15 actual products. If you type in skincare, or let's say PDRN, you type in, let's say you're in the PDRN market, right? Hint, F and hint. By the way, when did I tell you guys about, I told us about PDRN, I think over a year ago. Over a year ago. And I'm also in this market. And I've also given this market to many of us. It's it's killing it. And I gave this market to us over a year ago. Okay. And I've talked about it consistently. Right. So also when I give us markets, get in. Right. But the whole point is signature collection is literally you have your main product that's selling, and then you have 15 other products that by going on Cal data, you type in the closest you can possibly get to your product's market, and you literally blindly just choose the top 15 items that come up with the highest revenue, and you add them to your signature collection. And then what you do is on the homepage, they're going to automatically be available as a collection on the homepage, and it's going to be available to buy as the burger menu on the top left. That is literally, for anyone who wants to bump AOV without doing anything with your ads or anything, that's how you do it. Okay, but I really recommend that at $500 to $1,000 a day and more to actually see a difference, right? So that's why signature collection works, and why and how we use it, right? And that's one of the most incredible things to realize, right? You're not driving traffic there, none of that. It's people that are just buying because they're seeing it available. Rizwan goes, how do we put the signature collection on homepage? All you do is you go into Shopify, you go to where you adjust the homepage settings into your actual settings where you're adjusting your store aesthetic, and you're simply adding a collection, and then you're going to make that collection the signature collection. And then you'll increase the column number to be 15, so all the products show. And what you'll have is you'll have your main product on the top, right? And then you'll have just your 15 below it. And we're not messing with our conversion there because we're sending all the traffic to our landing page anyway. Okay, that's how you do it, Rizwan. Jordan goes, do you include those signature collections or products in OCU funnels? Or maybe, here's the thing, Jordan. I wouldn't typically do, Jordan W., I wouldn't do that because historically and statistically, your best performing actual ad is your best performing upsell is going to be the product they already just bought. And when you're doing a one-click upsell funnel and you're trying to get them to purchase in a split second, you want it to be something they're already sold on. So you can test it,
but you always want to make the same product your control variable. In almost all my cases, I'm seeing the same product is doing better, right, than something different. Okay. And the Jordan G goes, so before we ever launch a product, we need to set up OCU, correct? Is it just, yep, Jordan, ever, 100%. There's training on Uni for it, go through. And yeah, because Jordan, 20 to 30% of the time, I'm getting my customer to buy the upsell, even during testing. Even when I'm testing a product and it's shit, and guys, for the next brand that we're launching, like we have to test for it, right? So even when I'm testing products, like it still converts at 20 to 30%, which is impressive. If I do say so myself, it is pretty good. So yes, every product ever always have OCU, right? It's gonna get you a lot higher cash flow at the end of every sale. Right? That's one thing that we always say. We always say that. Okay. So what I want us all to do specifically, okay, for homework is the following. I want all of us to go through every single solitary point I just went through here and make sure that you not only understand it, but you have it applied in your personal brand. Okay. You have it completely applied. Every single point here is completely applied in every way. And if it's not, you're going to reach out to me and Ron on WhatsApp, and you're going to ask us the questions that you have, and we're going to book private sessions, okay, to get you guys custom sessions for you guys for this, okay? And yes, if it hasn't been clear enough, guys, we said it 1,000 times, OCU on every launch, right? I don't care if you're doing $1 million a month, okay, and you're launching, you every single solitary one, okay? Also, if you were not here live for this session where I did this, you need to rewatch this and make sure that you are built in these markets. I'm trying to make this as easy as humanly possible for you to find winners and get into markets and everything. And I'm also giving out product. There's not much more I can do. Giving out my own winners, giving out the markets, probably unlimited session. All I need is for you to cast out the line and just keep casting, right? If you're a new person, if you're already a veteran, I'm telling you right now, I don't care how much you know. I've seen probably more markets than you, and I've worked with more people than you, and I've worked in more brands than you. Get in these markets. I don't care if you're a veteran in a different market. Get in these markets, okay? And like I'm telling you, do not share these markets or products to folks outside of BSF. Keep all the shit that we talk about here in the community. Don't share it. Okay? Why would we give out our market? Keep it in the community. Okay? And the same thing with all this here. No one talks about this stuff. No one's talking about this. No one is talking about really any of this, right? So I'm telling you, just keep it in the community. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to reiterate our homework. Number one, go through every single solitary point here. Okay. Every single solitary point, go through here. Okay. Again, and make sure you have it established and understood in your brand. Okay. Every point. And if you have a question about any of it, reach out to me and Ron. We will get a private session for you booked. Okay. Number two, watch this mastermind again. Okay. Even if you were there live, it's worth watching again. Watch this whole thing again. This when we put this together. So if you're seeing this right now, you're like, Justin, when the hell did you do that? This is one of the last sessions that we did. Okay. Please, please, please go through it. Okay. And make sure that you watch the whole thing. Okay. Now, and then number three, actually, like I already kind of mentioned in point number two. Number three, after you do both of these things, okay, you're going to have questions and you're going to reach out to WhatsApp. You're going to drop them in Platinum or you're going to book a private session. Okay. And we're going to go through everything. All of these points from the literal markets we sell in to the nuances of those markets to the exact most important keynotes of taking a product and getting it scaled up with the most important line items. Okay. This is what I want us focusing on. So number one is rewatch today's session and go through every point, and please make sure it's all contributed in your brand build. Number two, you're going to rewatch this product research and market niche research session. And number three, you're going to drop your questions in Platinum or WhatsApp or request a private session, right, to go through any questions that you have about any of it. I expect 100% of us to be completely on the same page with all of this. Because if you're not, you're just going to reach out to me and Ron, and we're gonna privately get you on the same page. Okay, so there's no excuse for not knowing what any of this is or means or whatnot. Okay, and I want that all done over the next 3 to 5 days minimum. Okay, deadline. Now, if that makes sense, give me a 1 down below, guys. If that makes sense and you understand it, you understand what I want done for homework, and you're going to do that, that will be good. Like I said, we will bend over backwards for as much extra support or whatever the hell it is that you may need. And you will need it because this shit is hard, it's grueling, it's annoying, and it ain't fun all the time. We make it fun. We try to make it fun as we can because it also is a little bit fun, but it's the boring work that gets the results. That's what it is. And it's also the boring shit to talk about that sucks to sit 2.5 hours through a mastermind and listen to, but you got to do it. Okay, you got to do it because this is the stuff that you need to hear because no one else is gonna tell you and force it on you. I will, right? Because this is the stuff that matters. Everyone else on fucking YouTube is just gonna talk about all the BS that you just want to see and hear. This is actually what matters. Okay, this stuff. Okay, very good. All right. Boom. Let me check here. No, Jordan, these are always available, guys. These are always available. And Ron, let's do me a favor as well, Ron. Just like you created another category for the session where we did this, do me a favor, Ron, and please add this session into a ads manager plus keynotes private session. Make that the title of it. And then Ron, add this recording in there as well. And just like we had a few people request, Ron, please also give this to Manny to upload into University as well in the correspondent category. And Ron, give me a confirmation down below once that makes sense. Oh, you already did. Thank you, sir. Okay. And Yasan goes, when we add a winner into scaling, we add one keyword into that. Yep. Yes, Yasan, that is one of the newer strategies that we're using. And yes, so do me a favor, Yasan, take that question, drop it to Ron in WhatsApp, right? And we're going to answer you directly on that one because I don't want anyone to get confused. But yes, you are correct on that, Yasan. Right. And guys, and including that strategy, you're going to start seeing all of what I'm talking about here, guys. Anything that's not currently in uni, this is like real-time information. What Ron and I are doing and have been doing for the last several weeks is recording new content, and then we're pushing it over into University as well. So you guys get it first here. If you're also in a one-on-one program with Ron, you also get it first in the one-on-one program with Ron, right? And then it makes its way over to University. Okay, so that's like my way of like flowing. Very good. Appreciate that, Ron. Thank you. And Ron, that makes sense. Just don't forget to add the different folder, and don't forget to tell Manny to add it to University, please. Because guys, I've been doing masterminds for a long time. One thing I think would be really smart as well, guys. Guys, what if I uploaded every single mastermind I've ever done into an AI, and then had you guys have the ability to ask the AI like any question? Like, you know how Hormozy made like a Mozy bot? I have more masterminds than Hormozy has in this subject matter for sure, because I've been doing this for over 10 years, right? So I have all the masterminds I've ever taken. I could upload them into an AI, and then I could get you guys access to it somehow. And then, I mean, we basically are AI because you message us 24 hours a day in our WhatsApp channels to our cell phones. We're basically answering it anyway, but it would still be kind of cool to have, I think. So I'm going to be seeing if I could do that too. Amazing, amazing, guys. Yeah, we're going to do it. I just got to figure, if you guys have any suggestions for good tools for that, because guys, like, let's also keep my, like, these masterminds, they go for 2 hours. Sometimes I have 4 or 5 hour sessions plus, right? I had 7 hour sessions. It's going to take a while to upload. It'll probably take like a year to upload. Nah, well, I'll figure out a way to do it quicker. But what I'm doing, guys, I'm coming up with ways to make this program and experience even better, right? So I continue to add to it. Even though I'm really happy with this and like the experience we have here, everything could always be better. So I'm going to be looking to add a lot more to it in that way, which would be really good. So keep an eye out for that, guys. No timeline on that, but that is my idea. Okay. But yeah, other than that, guys, like I said, homework is to go through this session again, make sure each one of these points is applied in your actual branding, your brand. Okay. Second homework assignment is to go through here this last session and watch the whole thing over again. Okay. Third homework assignment is to make sure that you write down all your questions. And if you have any questions, reach out, drop them in Platinum or reach out privately, and we'll go ahead and get you on private sessions to go through and get anything that you don't have in your head answered. But over the next 3 to 5 days, there's no excuse. Every single one of us should have every single solitary thing like this in our head, like the back of our hand. Okay. Guys, I like doing these sessions, or I'll just go through even the nitty gritty. Because I know a lot of the stuff we'll go through is like advanced stuff, but I like doing these sessions where I'm like getting in the trenches with it.
So if you guys want me to do more of these, give me like a two or something down below. That would be really, yeah, Jordan, drop it down below. I got you. And guys, if you like these sessions, drop two down below. Because like I say, I also like the long form masterminds. Like that's a staple. We have to always do that, right? Because like it's just such like a good thing to have. But I want to mix these in too from time to time as well. So I'll likely do like on, off, or we'll do like sessions where we have both. Today's session, we're just focused on this today. We're on here for nearly 2.5 hours. But if you have any additional questions after you go through the recording, after you go through all this, reach out to me and Ron. We're going to be going through and answering questions the whole rest of the day, right? But other than that, guys, like I'm so excited because you're going to be seeing us launch another brand. And you guys saw that brand I took to like 400K a month in only 3 months, right? We're about to pass. We have like fucking 15,000 orders technically on that, but on that on one storefront, we're about to pass 10,000. And we'll be getting the Shopify word for that as well, which I'm excited for that particular brand. And then I'm going to show you guys again. We're launching another brand from scratch again. I'm going to show you guys me do it from scratch again. Just like the way I took the 400K a month brand was at zero, and I showed everyone from zero to like the 14K days. I'm going to do the same exact thing on the new brand, right? And you're going to watch it in real time again, right? So I'm doing it again, right? Right? Even though we're about to take that brand and get an award for it and scale it even higher, I'm doing it again just because, like, why not, right? I want to do it. So be ready for that. That'll be another case study that we're putting together for you guys, which is going to be really sick. And I'm going to be showing you guys it's literally inside these markets that I pulled the products from. Okay. But other than that, great stuff. Oh no, Jordan, we still got that one, brother. Like I said, we're about to get the Shopify word for that one. I would have gotten the Shopify word for that a lot quicker because, dude, in 1 month, I pushed 5,000 orders in 1 month. Which, and keep in mind, I'm selling mostly buy two get one. So 5,000, like if you do 5,000 times three, that's actually 15,000 units sold. Which, and a lot of people bought my 5 unit. So I sold close to 20,000 units, right, with that product in a single particular month, which is absolutely insane. No, say we still have that. I probably will end up selling that one, but not right now because that thing has more juice in it, to be honest with you. But I'm doing another brand build that you guys will see live as well, which would be cool. And yeah, other than that, guys, please make sure to rewatch these. Okay. And guys, don't think like 400K in 3 months. That's ridiculous. That's not like it could be done, but it's actually like that's out there. It's not that realistic, right? You're probably not going to do that out the gate, frankly, right? That's what I've done recently, but like, yes, I've done this for my whole life. If I couldn't do that, probably shouldn't be here, right? So don't think you're going to do that right out the gate. You're probably not going to do 400K out the gate, right? But understand that. Okay. All right. Yeah. And honestly, Jordan, me neither. Honestly, it's my team. Ron is a big reason I'm able to do what I'm able to do. Right. Let's spend some time to give this man his flowers. Because Ron spent his own honeymoon literally not taking a day off. And he didn't even tell this guy, no, I get a lot of like, oh, Justin, you're so great. It's my team and it's Ron, right? And the platinum captains. These are the people that allow me to look like I have it all figured out. Guys, I have a good team behind me. That's how I'm able to be an octopus, right? It's not because I'm Superman or anything like that. I'm not, nowhere near it. I'm actually the opposite, right? I'm like you guys say, I'm crazy. I'm very sporadic, but that's also a good thing in this type of business, right? Because it keeps you like super energetic. But no, it's Ron and the team that allow me to do this, right? And that's why it's important to get the right people around you, right? Because they allow you to become your full potential that way, you know? Yeah. So Ron, you really are the man, bro. And I have not met someone other than me. that would make I'll tell your wife I love her, right? Because she probably doesn't like me very much, right? And I tell her I love her and I thank her for allowing us to work all day every day, right? Jay, I know she likes me, but I'm telling give her those flowers, Ron, because I'm telling her right now, like you know, she makes it all possible. You and I could rock and roll. Same thing with my girlfriend, like they take care of a lot of other things so we can focus on this, a luxury that a lot of us don't have, right? We may have kids, you know, all this stuff, you know, so it's a lot easier for guys like me to focus all day on this
Like, oh yeah, see, it's easy. No, it's not that easy when you got kids, job, and all this stuff. And I respect that a ton. And that's why, guys, we try to bob and weave for all of us, right? Whether it's a 3 o'clock in the morning session or what, we're there. And we just, one of the things I like to say is like, we just got to be aware and we're there. Like just let us know and we're going to do everything in our power to make it freaking happen. But yeah, if there's one person I see who works as much as I do, it's Ron. And sometimes this man works more than me. Right? Right. Not always, because I'm still up there. I still, even though I'm like 10 years plus into this, I still got the same drive and ambition I did when I was young, so, or younger, you know. But yeah, he definitely deserves that. And guys, it's funny, like as you all know, Ron came here as a student to me at first, and we got his brand on Shark Tank, right? And now he's my partners on all these brands and the companies that we built, including the 400K a month brand and everything else, and the new one we're building, and the ones that we had before that and all that. So, yeah, I just want to give you your flowers, Ron, because that was definitely, I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that. And I want you to know I appreciate you, bro. Because in order for me to maintain like the amazing moving 5-star reputation we have here, I need guys like you, right? Because it's impossible to not have that and hold to the standard in which I hold you and the whole staff and everything. Like guys, you don't see it, but you see the happy and then the smiley Justin. Guys, sometimes I get crazy in the Slack channel and I'll be a little bit like not mean. It's like I could be a douche sometimes. Because I'm like, no, this person needs support right now. We need this right now, right now. This has to be done like this. We need this client over here scheduled now. Because I give a shit about you. And I get emotional about it. And Ron could probably laugh and hearing this right now. But sometimes Ron's got to give me a little reality check. He goes, Justin, it's like, I know you got a lot going on, but take a deep breath. I'm like, yes, you just have to get this, because it has to get done correctly and properly. Right? So what goes on behind the scenes, guys, is literally like, we're on the battlefield of making sure each and every one of you are supported beyond capabilities of anyone else in this market, genuinely. So, yeah, it's true. And me and Ron literally speak every single solitary day for like the last near decade. And we have to get me out there. I was supposed to go out there for Ron's wedding, but then if Ron's there and like I'm there too, there's no one to run anything. So we couldn't. We both of us in the same place, not locked in, is like disaster waiting to happen. We don't want that. And Krista, I just want you guys to compare. Oh no, Ron's pretty jacked. I think Ron's got me beat right now. Back in my day, I don't know, but I think Ron's got me beat. Very cool. And Ron, did that brand get a deal on Shark Tank? Yeah, I know you guys were on it, which is pretty sick. And that's Gus says, thanks, Ron. He did a call for me while on honeymoon. Much appreciated. Chris goes, shout out to Ron's wife for having her time with us. 100%. She's amazing. She's literally amazing. We appreciate her so much. Genuinely. Pat goes saying, thank you, Ron. Very good. No, and I just want to give you your flowers there, bro. Very, very good. Yeah, no, Mike's definitely winning that one. Look, Mike is freaking ripped. But I remember during a chat that Ron was like, holy shit, like Mike's effing ripped, dude. Like, oh my God, that's crazy. I'll tell you what, it's usually, I'll tell you what, not to toot your horn, Mike, but typically there's a big correlation with people who are like super like jacked or like very ripped, where they understand discipline, right, very, very well, and they end up doing very, very good. And I've seen that more times than I can count. So keep that in mind, good sir. Very nice. And yeah, get in the gym, guys. Like get your ass in the gym, right? Along with all this, like I always said, get your ass in the gym, because it is all the difference. It is all, like, you will literally you will show up differently to your laptop, to your computer after you hit the gym. Like you will literally show up differently. You'll just be more about it. So other than that, guys, great session here today. Please remember the homework, guys. If anyone needs anything after you complete the homework, please reach out. Okay. And we're getting as much custom movement and sessions as we need. Just please make sure you go through and do the homework first, which is number one is to rewatch this session and make sure you have every point applied. Number two is every single solitary point here. Number two is making sure this other session is completely rewatched and you have every point applied. And number three is you're going to reach out with any questions that you particularly have.
because I'm expecting no questions on any of this in the next 3 to 5 days, because I want all of us putting in the work to make sure that that is taken care of, right? So we could continue to move further, because I want to do a lot more just like this. I want to keep drawing out the process and the system and explain the nuances behind it for all of us. I think it's very helpful, and I'll continue to do that. And for everyone who stayed on the whole time, thank you very much as well, guys, for staying on. It's always a lot of my people who are on at the beginning, who I always see on at the end, and I appreciate that so much. And even if you're a replay king, I still love you as well. I know you have life, happens sometimes, but do your best to be here live. So I literally pour my heart out, like I give it all. So please try to be here live, and it's always a lot of fun in the chat as well when I'm answering everything. And other than that, guys, freaking amazing session. We already have that document inside Platinum Club as well. So just search for it in Platinum, guys. It is in there. And if you can't find it, just ask me, Ron. We'll gladly send it over to you. But yeah, other than that, guys, amazing session. Thank you guys so much as well for all the amazing words. I appreciate it more than you guys know. I literally put my heart, blood, sweat, and tears into this. And I'm telling you right now, not a single program, whatever the hell you want to call it, comes even close to this. Right? None of these guys are spending time and effort giving you their mark. None of it. Right? There's a reason that we have the name we do. So let's keep freaking pushing. Shit ain't easy. Whether you're scaled or it's your first time, realize it is possible, and we are here to make it happen. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for all the amazing feedback. Please complete the homework. Other than that, enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Ron and I are working the rest of our Sunday. So if you need us, hit us up. Let us know we're here. And other than that, guys, I love y'all. Have a good rest of your day. I'll see you guys soon.